Previously, in the Age of Ashes. Brr and his new friends headed up to the book company and learned a lot about not just Voz, but Breachill's origins as well.
And as you open the door, spikes shoot out from...
This has been well written into, annotated, and it looks like a lot of use has...
We're going to go on a magical journey through Breachill's history. For a brief moment. Says the good people were saved by a kindly wizard named Lord Lamond Breachton.
Who is totally human.
That wizard had gathered them all together for whatever his plans was, trying to orchestrate some kind of a utopia, and it failed. He simply abandoned them here. Aha! An entrance to Alcetta's Ring, the Guardian's Way.
Then they headed back to the crypts on Hell Knight Hill, only to find them even more infested than they'd originally thought.
As this corpse shambles towards you, it starts to increase in speed. It's kitted out in full Hell Knight plate.
Real unnatural. I don't know what those things were, but I hope we never meet one of those again.
Yeah, fragile's what they were.
What were they?
This is... Bastards! What is this? This should not be happening! These are mindless corpses! These are no longer Hell Knights. These are abominations.
These runes appear to be the source of
What
the
is-
necromantic power.
But what is activating them? There is some...
Voz did with her meddling and her tampering.
Then channel that fury into Voz.
Now wait here one moment.
30 damage from a series of these spikes shooting
So
right
most
through
of
So
your
he
your
gets
organs, yeah.
he gets transfixed, and then it pulls back, and he just kind of stumbles away.
Oh, God.
I'm just... I understand this is why shops have those notices of don't let children run free. But that's all I'm imagining is like, what happened the first time Voz set this up? Did like just some kid just like, yay!
And Voz's business just went downhill from there.
Let's be
Boz
real, if a
used to have a
child...
dog. What dog?
This, was kind of an interesting situation, that trap there. Raised a whole lot of questions about really Voz and her ability to run a business and, you know.
What
Shouldn't
kind
have
of
children poking around.
what kind
Well, you
of
poke the
vermin does
children.
she have?
I mean, she does live kind of up on the edge of Breachill, I suppose. It's not impossible. I think you're up just in the foothills of the mountains, kind of away from anything. You barely got any town guards. But regardless, last week we did end off still down in these crypts. Once again, forever and eternally, beneath Citadel Altarian.
Give us your loot.
In the basement of unending joy. We had just finished fighting our way through some possessed flying helmets,
Things.
and then some zombies of some denomination, a few with Hell Knight regalia and weapons, and one boggart who appeared to have been turned. And after a brief moment of Tyrannus, we'll just go ahead and say losing is cool, flipping a couple of caskets, we had ended up going through all 6 of these sarcophagi up here in this northern relinquary, hidden up in the corner of the Undercrofts itself. And we had found a lot of value, actually. A lot of interesting things they kept down here. A lot of, I would say, lesser potency runes embedded into various weapons that we just handed off to Resme to identify, among some other things. The Hell Knights are clearly interred with some fairly valuable gear. We had just, I believe, come to the conclusion, well, some of us, there's a little bit of dissent about who was responsible for everything that had been happening here beneath Citadel Altarian. And Tyrannus, for one, is very confident Voz is the one to blame.
And we can loot stuff. Because he said we could.
He did. After all the fights that you've had to deal with down here in the Undercrofts here against what were once his own people and possibly the Hell Knight's own necromantic wards, whatever state they're in now, notwithstanding, that seems to be what you're dealing with. He did help you get through these. Well, he gave you permission and then just kind of sat there and was mad. Well, we spent probably the better part of an hour trying to dig through these massive stone coffers. But now, laden with assorted magical weaponry and a few other things, where are we headed? It seemed we'd fully explored these crypts. It didn't, with this last chamber leading nowhere and holding the necromantic ward itself emblazoned upon the wall in glowing sigils, now darkened. Doesn't seem to be much else going on down here.
Well, we should return to the ossuary. It seemed there was quite a bit there to explore, and we're no longer pressed for time since we've explored this entire area.
Yes, I suppose we should be thorough, and then to Guardian's Way.
Indeed.
So you bundle up all your newfound weapons, sling them across, I suppose, Buddy, Dolren, and Tyrannus' back, as they seem to be the ones more capable of bearing the weight in this group. And
I'll carry a purse.
as you
I can barely carry my own sword.
As you go to leave, Tyrannus stops for a moment, contemplating the chamber here. His eye is kind of running across the desecrated graves, and the body is now just sort of left exposed to the air. I do suppose we should at least seal them back up.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
They are still Hell Knights after all. Alright, help me with this.
Certainly.
And so you lay the coffers back upon their plinths where they had been, on this rack through the center of the room, on each of their assorted pedestals, sealing them once more underneath the heavy stone slabs latched shut as their lids. As the last of these clicks into place, its massive mechanism of stone and metal clanking shut. Tyrannus pauses again, just resting a hand on the top of the coffer, brushing away some of what's left of the dust that still clings to its surface. I would like to apologize to the group of you for a variety of things, really, but
Well,
losing my cool, primarily. This has been a strange and difficult time for me, I suppose. I am not so good with emotions, but I don't know what to make of all of this.
Well, it's all right. I knew you had it in you. You know, I knew by the look
Buford.
of you that you were. And I walked right up to him. Oh, big glump and hug.
And as he holds up
Sometimes we just need to hug it out, isn't that, you know?
Huh.
Really good.
kind of standing there, his arm up, where he held up a finger to stop you as you just walked up and hugged him.
There, let it out there, let it out. You're doing a good job. I know you're new on the road and stuff, but man, I hope my boys are just, man, you remind me of them sometimes.
Buford.
Espus, is that how you feel all the time?
Espus, I don't mean to leave you out of this, Espus, but I just don't.
Well, yes, and no need to go and steal Tyrannus' thunder.
Dalren, I mean, I do appreciate
Look,
you, Dalren.
This is not some big moment. I am simply apologizing for my conduct.
I don't mean to embarrass you. I'll step back here. Oh, man.
No offense taken. I think you had quite a good reason to be emotionally pressed. I can empathize.
There's never a good reason to risk the lives of your allies through an action. And when first we passed through here, we found the risen skeletons defending the undercrofts. I took no action against them. And then again, I lost myself here, seeing whatever has come of these walking corpses. I'm simply expressing regret for my actions. I have conducted myself poorly. Not up to the standard I would hold for myself, nor would the order of the nail. But I will see this through.
Well, we can only go forward, not backward.
That is very true. And it seems our road leads one direction now, no? Is this Guardian's Way?
Of course, yes.
Yes, indeed. We should see what it holds, and if Vaz has left a track there, perhaps we can find out more of her motivations.
I still feel as if I am entirely in the dark as it is pertaining whatever she wants. She has clearly gone to great lengths to try to find this ring, which clearly so did Calmont for whatever reason, whether at her behest or on his own. But, I mean, I suppose a ring of teleportation is valuable to anyone, really. But all this seems a bit much.
Not if it can take you anywhere. And there are legends of rings such as this in Alcetan lore, but to tell you the truth, I just always thought they were fairy tales.
Well, it's possible I undervalued this. My own order apparently saw fit to construct an entire citadel simply due to one's close proximity.
Well, possibly. As I said, most of this is conjecture, and we're a bit in the dark here. I suspect
That it is. There's no reason to be making incorrect assumptions or guesses with partial information. If he finds this vase,
Exactly.
we find what she knows.
Indeed.
Disregards the doorbell. There are no doorbells in this game. I don't know if that picked up on the microphone, but disregard it.
Esphus, I'm really sorry.
4.
I owe you a hat. I think Severin has made off with the entire back of it.
Esphus does not wear a hat.
Then whose hat does the bird have?
Your bird stealing hats? Cause
I believe there's one person in this party who wears a hat, which is Buford, and unless he has a cowboy hat and is...
Where did you get that? Oh, ew, it's from the crypt. Don't pick things up like that.
Perhaps we should be rid of this place.
Come on.
Through the ossuary and then on the way out, I think. Yes, probably.
we'll see what we
Spectacular
can
idea.
find. So, the group of you move back out down this single hallway into the original antechamber that the secret door had let you in. This darkened hall where still, I would imagine, there are the now certainly very putrid corpses of the peacocks that have just been left, as well as several boggards that have been heaped up down here.
Unless the mighty dragons got them.
They do not appear to have as of yet. But to
Okay.
be fair, there were quite a few huge piles of meat left throughout these crypts. 3 full-size, 6-foot-tall, 250-pound boggards, of which was left in their own room. So they don't appear to have made their way out here. Well, not out here to collect them as of yet. But they have definitely made their way out here. And as the first of you come out into the ossuary, you can see one of the scaly red snouts poking around the edge of the hallways on the other side, leading back towards where their horde and their dragon's lair is. And it's a fairly long snout this kobold has, extended and flat, and his eyes are pretty far set back on it. You get the impression, as he peers around the corner, that he is either trying to be or believes he is quite stealthy, where around a full foot of shimmering red scales are just kind of poking out around the corner with one eyeball dancing around, watching as you come through the doorway.
All right, guys, let's pretend we can't see him. That way he doesn't feel bad. Act surprised. Come on, humor him.
Yeah, I guess we'll just...
Well,
I'll walk
yeah,
past
we'll
and
walk-
pretend I don't see him.
So you just turn the corner, back around into the main ossuary, because he's across the hall from you. He's a good 20 feet away. And you come through, Buddy comes through next, I imagine, just ignoring them.
We wouldn't want to break the little hearts. They're trying
They're
so
trying
hard.
so hard.
Tyrannus coming out, somewhat bemused. looking over directly at the kobold, to which you see the snout 3 inches back, so he clearly can no longer see you, but there's still about 4 inches of red, scaly snout and teeth sticking out past the wall before it slowly comes back out again. His Tyrannus still looking and goes back.
I would thud Tyrannus' chest real hard. You seem to have your mind wandering over there, Tyrannus.
Tyrannus would shake his head. There's nothing, I suppose. And follow the rest of you around the corner. And as you all slowly file around here, making your way back down to the southern section, into the main of the chambers here, Sniggles, the green one, scampers out on all fours, like a wild lizard, running for cover, scooting out into the center of the room, his nose pointed upward like he's trying to smell something, clearly very curious and very concerned about the group of your passing. As he looks back and forth, it's like probably Dalren and Buford at this point are like at the other hallway and turning. You would hear his claws clacking across the stone as he comes out.
I guess he's not trying to hide anymore.
This is the green
Different one.
This is the other one.
Ah, I see.
Zerk is still back behind the wall. Sniggles blows past him out of the room.
Hi, Sniggles.
He just continues looking back and forth, where he puts his nose down and slowly rises up onto his hind legs to assume a more standard standing position. Just clacks his little claws together in front of him. You went through the Deadlands.
Yes, we came back.
He's got you lisping.
Oh, sorry. I get used to it, and it's so hard not to.
Hurt. You do not look like you are dead.
Not that I'm aware.
You think something like that would kill me? I mean, look at me. I've got a new crown now.
I don't think they would recognize you in the full plate.
The giant
That is,
bubble.
The
that is
dome.
true. You are now a giant knight with a cowboy hat perched on
Now
top
I
of a
got a
spherical
better
helmet.
crown. So I'd go like tink. The crown.
The hat is...
Hey there.
And as you put that up, Sniggles shoots up with an accusing claw pointing at you.
He is a skeleton now.
And Zerk pops out from behind cover now, very much concerned.
He is a skeleton now. He came back from the Deadlands.
Not exactly. It's armor. It's to protect him from being stabbed.
More powerful.
That way he does not turn into a skeleton.
Well, technically, everyone is a skeleton.
Hey, no making things
Don't say
complicated
things
around
like
here.
that.
And Sniggles still standing in the center of the room, just pointing, seemingly stuck in horrified shock. Zerk trots past him up to Buford. Puts his snoot up into the opening of your helmet, kind of looking around, looking at
You
you
must be a
before
very tall lizard
He's
right there.
He
climbed
climbed up your body.
he's got a pretty long face, so like
gotcha.
he can turn it up. He can't see into it,
It's like a
but he can
crocodile
put
snout.
his nose up into it,
Reach down. Boop.
and he can
Got your conch.
and he can stretch up on his little toes. But all he can reach is your torso, your cuirass, and your encased body. As he kind of scrapes gently with his claws across it, tapping it in various places, sort of all over, a series of metallic tinks as he checks for whatever on earth it is Zerk is trying to inspect here. He turns back around, pulls himself up tall, and turns his head up.
He has offended.
As if he's addressing a mighty crowd, but there's nobody there but Sniggles, still standing in the hall, his arms slowly falling as he kind of like loses the strength to keep holding it up. So he's sort of just pointing down kind of at Buddy's feet at this point.
He has survived the Deadlands.
And now I have armor and a new head.
His scales are pure.
Yes.
And he turns back, Zerk turns back around to look kind of up towards you. You can't really see your face at this with this full helm anymore, because there's just the bottom of it sort of largely blocking him.
When we had spoken, this one and claim to be the dragon. But you bear the scales.
Never gonna let me forget that.
Your hide, it is strong and true.
Yep.
And
We
if you
did not know you were a mighty dragon as well.
and
You
if you
know-
hit it in a very specific way, it makes noise.
I think you'll fit right in, Buford.
We
Thank you. I've
we do
always.
not have a lot of room in our lair.
And reminder, their lair is like 40 by 30 feet. It's huge and just full of a pile of crap in the middle. It's quite large, and they are quite small.
We didn't have a lot of room, but hold on.
He kind of looks back and forth. He looks over to the left, towards where the armory is and the gel and the possessed doll has been.
We do not really go over there, except that one time when you found us. Over there. That can be your kingdom.
I've got mighty calling, you know. I've got things I need to do. These fine people need my help.
And Sniggles just stands up and raises his arm up again. He has a mighty calling!
Mighty calling.
He is a true dragon. They do mighty calling things. So it is told. It is known.
And Zerk just waves his hand a whole bunch, clearly irritated that Sniggles interrupting.
We know it is known. That's why it is known. Everyone knows that it is known. You don't have to say that. Dragon. That can be your domain.
But he freezes, his eyes going a little bit wider, looking almost past you as realization strikes him.
That already is his domain. That is how he found us there.
Yeah, well, you keep this. So you keep an eye on my domain while I'm out doing.
We must pay him penance. Sniggles! Fetch the penance.
Yeah.
And Sniggles is
Just a slight shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
I slide him some copper. Like I try to like slide with the thievery.
Okay, make me a thievery check. 'Cause you can, if you beat,
Sleight of hand.
Yeah, if you beat the perception check, the perception DC of these two kobolds, they won't notice.
That's gonna be a 17.
17 will beat the perception DC of the two kobolds. So, you just very gently. I mean, he doesn't really have any pockets or anything. He's kind of wrapped up in like a leather and cloth wrapping with one pauldron.
No, I put it
on,
right into his hand.
Well, you just put it in his hand.
Without
He
him
just doesn't
noticing.
notice.
And Knuckles puts his hand up. I don't want to go all the way back to the lair. This journey is so far. I always get the penance. You get the penance.
What's that?
And then I don't know. Some weird metal circle. And he tosses the copper piece down to the hallway. I don't know how that got in my hands. And so he just looks at him again. Sniggles, this is important. We are in the presence of the true dragon, who is responsible for reclaiming our lands from the Thunderclaws.
Now I've got an important mission for you too.
And they both turn around and just snap immediately, staring at you
Straight
wide-eyed.
From my mouth. This is the word of law around here. I'm gonna need you guys.
And as you say this, Zerg takes a step back and Sniggles takes a step forward. So they're just kind of shoulder to shoulder,
I'm
watching.
I'm
in
gonna
awe.
need you guys to protect this domain down here. Make sure nothing weird happens.
Is it supposed to be all of the domain? Because only the part over back there is our domain.
You can keep an eye on my domain too.
But we can go in our domain and your domain, but we can't go in the Deadlands.
Yeah. That's right.
We'll pay you in meats.
There are,
They don't need payment. This is their calling, ma'am.
and Zerg puts both of his claws up.
A great windfall has come to our people. The lands are strewn with meat. They are as far as eyes can perceive. In most chambers, as long as you do not look very far.
Yeah. Now you just keep watch over around here while I'm out doing my business and make sure everything goes smoothly.
And they both just nod very fervently, which is pretty hilarious, seeing as they basically have scaly duckbills just flapping up and down. Their faces are largely this way. They're like little crocodiles. So there's a lot of flapping. Like, you can actually feel the air hitting you as they wave their dumb little heads very fervently.
Dalrin's investigative journal. Kobolds do not care for physics as they flap their heads as fast as they can to fly.
Tie them together, back to back, flap their heads. Gone. True dragon.
That's how they work.
That's how dragons are born.
Every time a pair of kobolds gets married, you form a true dragon.
So they say nothing. However, they just nod.
Good. You guys seem like a good sort. Strong, capable.
Look to each other.
Sure you'll do me proud.
At this point, Tyrannus is somewhere in the back. And his hand fully drawn over his face. His other hand just up on the haft of his halberd. Are we seriously doing this again?
Well, we're done now. We're going.
I think we're done, right? They seem.
Yeah, these guys
They
have
seem
my
sorted.
back.
And the two little kobolds no longer respond. Still seemingly awestruck.
I do like a very simple kind of like, let's see here. I would go like, as our new salute. Would be the new salute for these guys. Because
So,
mighty claws,
Two little fingers.
pounding.
Fist cloud. Okay. Sounds good. As you do this to them, they both just sit and watch in awe. Neither of them seeming to put together what exactly it is you're trying to do or if they should replicate it. Just still.
I tip my hat. Well, let's be on our way for our calling, friends.
Oh, thank Asmodeus. Can we be done of this, please?
Yep, we're all good to go.
But this is my favorite part.
Tyrannus will immediately turn and just head through the door towards the ossuary.
You guys never let me have any fun.
His heavy footfalls receding.
The last time we let you have fun, you nearly burned a room.
Well,
Yeah, she-
that's fun.
Rebuilt the tavern.
That's fun too. There's lots of different things that are fun.
Indeed.
As the rest of you follow along. So you cross back over through the central chamber into the southern ossuary, with Rur once again, or rather,
Detecting
Resme
magic.
detecting magic. I guess you both have detect magic.
Nope.
Or you just have read aura. Right. Right. You have detect magic. You have read aura. I remember. Big brain. 2 Pathfinder groups. So you come back into the room, and again catch some kind of resonance here. There is clearly something throughout the ossuary.
I think perhaps since we've dealt with all the threats in this area, we could spread our efforts out and we could all take a chance and try to find what we can find.
Okay. Rur, maybe over here?
I reckon we're just gonna take our time checking
So you
bit
would
by bit.
you would start it by checking the helmets that had risen up, freely floating to attack you when you'd passed there originally, assuming that seemed the most likely candidate to be magical, and they didn't seem
we checked
to be.
them last time.
We
Yeah,
checked them
that's
last
what I'm saying.
time.
They didn't seem to be in any way. That's what I'm saying. You had done that.
Yeah.
This does still leave the rest of a nearly 100-foot long chamber with racks of bodies interred 4 or 5 high against the walls, with all kinds of trinkets and bangles and little odds and ends left with them. In the aftermath of the battle earlier, this place is now just utterly still and nearly silent, with nothing but the sound of largely your own armor shuffling against itself as you poke around. Each of you, that kind of library sort of feel where it's really quiet and it just feels wrong to make any kind of a loud noise. So you're all just very gently looking through things, and realistically, only Roar can really check if items are magical. The rest of you are just sort of poking through, trying to find anything that looks like it may be worthy of note to possibly bring to him to inspect. But you've only really got one person.
So we can just like lay it out on the central table.
I
and
just-
make
put
a row,
everything
you can just go
suspicious
down the
I-
over there.
I can just see Buddy just going, this leather shoe, this bit of metal, this thing.
This is a weird looking little trinket. Yeah, this is probably magical.
A veritable bounty of bric-a-brac.
And it would take you some time to really work your way through. Fairly early on, one of you, D6 says, Resme, bearer of the detect magic, looking around with some kind of idea of what sort of things to look for, would find a thin wooden rod about 6 inches long with a very simple molded handle attached onto the bottom. Bring it up to Rur, and it would exude a faint purple aura of necromancy. Clearly a wand of some sort. Resme could then attempt to identify that quickly while everyone continued searching, as detect magic would tell you there was still more to have.
An actual wand. I wonder what it does.
It's a stick of necromancy. That's what it does.
Well,
Kind of ironic to find it down here, given the necromantic words and everything, but such is life.
It wasn't being used. It was safe.
Yeah, it was just hanging out.
18?
With an 18, you would be able to identify this. Wands in second edition, quick takeaway, are a little bit different than they were in, or a lot a bit different than they were in first edition. They're no longer consumables at all. They recharge daily and effectively are kind of just a bonus spell slot that anybody with any kind of spellcasting ability can use. And what you have here is a wand that is loaded with the heal spell. It's a first level heal spell, but that is just one extra heal spell you could cast every day. You can attempt to overcharge the wand once it has been spent daily. You can do this with any wand. This is just wand mechanics in general. To force the spell out a second time, but there's about a 50-50 chance the wand will be destroyed utterly in the process.
Not a thing we want to do.
Definitely
And
not.
the other side of that is the wand is still broken and has to be repaired. So it's guaranteed going to break. It maybe explodes into irreparable shards.
Well, this will prove very useful. A wand of healing.
Oh, yes.
So while that turns up relatively quickly, being a seemingly obvious candidate to be perhaps magical, otherwise you're left with a whole assortment of strange things to bring back. There's what appears to be a small petrified paw in a jar. There is a strange metal trinket shaped like two interlocking squares slightly offset to each other that loop around in a almost difficult to perceive way. There are all kinds of various small holy symbols, metal trinkets, and ancient, simple, symbolic replica weapons. But it's all largely valueless, and none of it rings to as magical as of yet. You are slowly starting to amass a pile of things that have some value. A lot of the bodies here do have bracelets, earrings, bangles, assorted bits of simple jewelry. None of it is registered as magical quite yet, but were you to take it up with you, it would at least be worth something. But it is not until probably a half hour of searching through here that you turn up 2 more items. And with both of these, since detect magic fortunately lets you exclude items that you already know about, you would be able to say for certain that there is nothing else in here resonating. There is a small, it literally is a D12 shaped little piece of orange amber. And this resonates quite faintly with an orange aura of transmutation.
No wonder they buried it. No one uses D12s.
And then, are there even D12 weapons in second edition?
Couple.
There's,
No
a
one ever
bunch,
uses
there's a
them.
bunch of spells that use d12s.
That's true. A
true.
lot of spells do a lot of D12y things. And then there is one other thing also with a faint aura of orange transmutation. A brass pin, like a little, a small lapel pin, but with an odd kind of anchor. No needle meant to be punched through cloth. A strange multi-part clasp that detaches entirely. But it is a colorless, just that just brass brown sigil of a monkey attached to the branch of a tree.
Buddy, this is just pocket lint. Why did you put this over here?
Oh, it smells funny.
Okay, sure. I suppose
This came out of your pocket.
It smelled funny. It's weird smelling pilot. I normally don't have weird smelling pilot.
I would be
Do
surprised
not
if
buzz up Buffoot. He has been exposed to far too much magic in the past few days. And
Could be anything.
Well, these are very
Even
pretty.
pocket lint.
I wonder what they do.
It's armor oil.
so let me, I got these are secrets
That
because I
what
could
they-
misidentify.
Yep.
I did forget on the first one.
Sorry.
So for the D12, what is your, I assume it is
Plus 8.
Arcana modifier that
Yeah.
we're using? The small D12, you will actually not quite critically succeed. Actually, that's exactly critically succeed. Yeah, it is exactly lethal on critically succeed, which means you 100% know that you have succeeded and you know the exact details of the thing. This is a talisman, one of many. This armor talisman has to be attached, because I don't know if we've had armor talismans yet. There are
Nope.
weapon and armor talismans.
I've got one. I'm still wearing it.
Are they
Actually.
Right, I was
They're
gonna
one
say,
uses,
I
right?
felt like one had come up at some point. All talismans are one-use items. They're consumable, so the Marshall's equivalent of scrolls. But this one does require you to be an expert in acrobatics to use. This is a feather stepstone, and when you activate it, when you envision the power that's attuned to your armor and consume the energy in this little D12, you will be able to ignore any difficult terrain or even greater difficult terrain through the end of your turn.
So, after she says that, it's also money. Yes, it's mostly money.
It is also money. This would sell for a nice about 4 gold pieces.
This appears to be enchanted with pure gold.
This just says sell
Selling
me.
me.
Why is there a price tag on this?
It's like that old Bard's
Everyone-
Tale video game. All loot immediately just converts into cash as soon as you find it.
Everyone knows D12s aren't worth anything.
Actually, I would like that a lot.
That's
Well-
true. With the jumping and the sliding into grease puddles, it could be very useful.
Just once.
Yes, just once.
Hey, come back, D20.
Did you get it?
Downside, yes. The downside of actual play, I can drop my dice. I can't drop my dice on roll 20.
It could also allow the person with the longest range weapon here to get into a better position should we be in a more open area.
That's true.
Just once.
You only need one.
It's not been my experience, but okay.
The second item, the strange brass monkey clasp, you are unable to identify. You can tell that through the clasp it's on, it does also appear to be an armor talisman, but you can't draw out exactly what it does.
My turn.
Oh yeah, you can try. Your turn takes 10 minutes. Your turn takes a single minute.
do I fail and just can't do it again?
Yeah, I believe, and I'm gonna double check this again
'Cause
because
I
I
thought if
think
it
I
was
said
criti-
this wrong.
Because if it's critical fail, I know I can't. But I thought if I just fail, I can just keep trying.
I believe that was what I said originally. I think I was wrong on that, but this one I am actually going to double check. It is a day before you can try again.
Oh, okay.
Because I know I looked this up again later, because I was like, well, that's crazy. You can keep doing it. So I called that wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
You could theoretically try again tomorrow, but you can't try again immediately.
Fair
You can
enough.
hand it off to Ruhr,
Sure.
who would take 10 minutes to try to identify. And what kind of a check are you using?
+9 religion.
+9 religion. So you draw out a bit of this magic. This will take a bit longer as everyone else spends this 10 minutes still kind of pouring through here and trying to locate anything else that may appear to register as magical. Nothing else really seems to. This armor talisman is largely, it does what it says on the box. It's a pin of a monkey clinging to a branch, and activating this will allow you to climb like you were largely a monkey yourself. It would activate as the same action that you were trying to make a climb check, and would make you climb much faster than most normal people are in any way capable of doing.
Oh, I'm gonna take that and throw that right on over to Buddy.
More money.
Okay, I ain't gonna say no to climb.
This one only requires you to be trained in athletics. I assume
I am very trained in athletics.
prerequisites are something you would be able to suss out as well.
Oh, we
Okay.
can choose to sell this one, or we can choose to have Buddy climb something really fast in the potential mountainy future we have.
I ain't gonna say no.
So for now, I recommend Buddy keeps it, but if we don't end up using it, perfectly fine to sell it.
Is the monkey pin a talisman?
It is
a
an armor
talisman.
talisman, yes. Those are both the items are armor talismans. It was 1 wand and 2 armor talismans.
Of course, I have the wand.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
you keep the wand of heal. I mean,
I didn't even write the wand
I don't
down.
feel like there were questions on that one. I feel
And-
like the wand of heal is clearly going to the cleric.
Yeah. And I guess we'll gather up the stuff that's just mundanely worth stuff.
So, if you, with the pile you end up amassing after about 30 minutes of search, you've probably got a decent pile of simple jewelry and like mundane objects that are carved out of a somewhat valuable stone or trinkets of some craftsmanship that you could sell for probably around 12 gold.
You did mention holy symbols.
Well, they would
All be
literally all be
Asmodeus.
Asmodean.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 100% Asmodean. There would be 0 other holy symbols here.
It's kind of what I figured. I was just
No, there are no holy symbols of Serenity
I didn't
in this
expect
Hell
there to
Knight
be
tomb.
It's like, how did this get here?
I have so many questions.
Darn you,
Why, Altharian?
random loot tables.
I mean, I guess that's it. I guess we can leave now. We might as well head back to town, offload, and head up to, what is it called again?
The Guardian Pass.
Oh, Guardian's Way. That's right. First thing tomorrow.
Well,
That's true. We do have Merrymead that we have to attend.
Indeed.
Soren's very adamant about going to Mary.
It's very important.
Super important.
And we have to
business.
and we have to offload this stuff. I don't want to just be carrying it around with me for the duration.
You do, as you leave the crypts here, as you would head back out through the secret door, or I guess through the path. You're not using
Yeah.
the secret door anymore. You're making the easy way back into
Oh,
your
yeah,
shell.
yeah, yeah.
Secret
Yeah,
doors
you've got
for
your
suckers.
path back to the pig's ear now. And as you arrive back in the pig's ear, it would only be, it'd still be before noon, because you traveled there pretty much immediately in the morning, had cleared your way through what was there fairly quickly, and then only spent an hour identifying and finding all of these things and messing with the various sarcophagi and the reliquary. So it's not even noon yet. It's just a little before. You still have plenty of time in the day. But you could just as easily take all of these things back, stash your various goods in your homes, and, well, Merrymead. It is, in fact, Merrymead.
It is?
That is a thing that is certainly happening.
Well, I am interested in getting that tapestry for you sometime, Tyrannus. I know you were real interested in that, and it would be a waste for it to go.
That's true. We could actually pick it up before we head back.
Yeah.
The paint, it was a mural, wasn't
Mural.
It was a
something.
painting.
It was
an
actually a
actual
painting, yeah,
It
yeah.
was an actual fan painting. And he kind of shakes his head a bit. With everything that happened, I admittedly had really forgotten all about that. I must do better. Yes, I fear this may take some effort to move. It's quite large.
Now, if we take it out of the frame, we could roll it up, take it with you. I'd recommend keeping a notebook, by the way. It helps me keep track of things.
But it'd be a real waste if that thing went and started deteriorating. You know, it's held up pretty good over time.
No, this is very much true. I cannot simply leave that there. That's a part of my family history, if nothing else. Very well. Help me roll this up then.
Of course.
And before leaving, you would carefully take that down.
Like, disassemble the frame it's on.
Yeah.
And just that way we can roll it up and carry it
You
with
don't
us.
need the frame. I mean, you can get a frame
Yeah.
anywhere. You just need the painting itself.
Yep.
Yep.
And let me do a double check real quick. Because it is a little bit damaged. No, it does not. I was double checking while we're rules is written largely our way through second edition in our first adventure, whether they wanted any kind of a crafting check to get that out. But it's just very lightly water damage around the edges. There's nothing severe enough to make it difficult to pack and become portable. And rather than putting this in a bag or anything, I mean, Tyrannus only has his little hip pouch.
I have a scroll case that I can use to wrap it up and just kind of carry it.
Well, scroll cases
like-
for like a piece of those are pieces of parchment. Like
No, but you can just
scrolls
use
are
like
like
a
yay
little.
big.
Yeah.
But you can just use like a little leather wrap that has like a thing on it to hold it together, and then just put it on your back.
Like a cord?
Like a cord or just something, anything that cinches, really.
Well, Tyrannus will actually, he takes his gauntlets off before any of this process begins, stowing them on his belt, and will actually elect to just carry this the entire way back by hand, making sure that he can navigate it through the tunnel leading all the way back out to the pig's ear without any further damage coming to the painting, making sure to keep it as intact as possible. Thank you, again, for what feels like the 100th times this past week. I hate pleasantries!
Of course. I mean, yes, and anytime. I mean, you're looking at me.
Well, that is pretty normal for someone who's talking.
What are our plans, sir? We stash our things.
Yes, retire back to town, cash in these
This
things
way,
to
this
quarters
would
and
be like
bits.
this would be like in the pig's ear before you all
Yeah.
split up.
Yeah, we should trade these in for the quarters and bits, and that way we are not carrying around all of this extra bric-a-brac. And then we should probably meet up down at the pub. After all, it's the day wears on, and festivities are very important.
Yay.
Doran, given what we have found, I cannot see drinking the night away being the action I take here.
Well, I gotta be repairing my shield, and we've got some stuff to do around town. We've got some selling to do, so, I mean, if we meet up tomorrow, I mean, it'd be the same as
He just kind of gestures to a window. It is not even noon as of yet. There's
It wouldn't be wise to go exploring in the mountains without the proper spells prepared either.
Likewise, by the time we actually reached that place, it would almost be evening. We wouldn't be able to do much. We'd have to wait till tomorrow anyway.
This is fair enough, I suppose.
I've been wanting to challenge you to a game of checkers.
I think if we are waiting for this journey until tomorrow, we'll simply retire for the evening. Enjoy your merry mead, whatever this is. We will find you tomorrow. And we
Alright.
will find this boss.
Sound like playing.
North Gate again?
North Gate.
Excellent.
I'm never gonna get him alone.
And with a nod,
Or tipsy.
with a nod and a brief kind of gesture towards you with this rolled up painting he has, he navigates it through the doorway, back out in Breach Hill, and heads back out into town. Never to be seen again. So as you stand here, again, the much cleaner, renovated, common area of the Pig's Ear Tavern, kind of, I guess, basking in your grand success you've had. Dolphin still behind the bar doing his business. It's fairly early. You head back to your various homes to store things. You mentioned wanting to swing by quarters and bits.
Just to sell the stuff we have.
Cash in the junk.
Yeah, that is a thing you can fairly easily do. No particular difficulty with that. As was,
Reloading ammo
Yeah.
and things like that.
And the scrolls.
reloading ammo is not even a thing you honestly need to share with me and Richo. Like, I just kind of assume whenever you guys are having a little bit in town that if you swing by quarters and bits, you can just drop, what is it, like 2 silver pieces for 2 quivers of arrows or whatever you get. Yeah, I figure you can probably handle that one perfectly fine. And you have nothing terribly out of the ordinary to try to sell here. You have a lot of...
We have a lot of salvage.
You have a lot of salvage, but it is all useful salvage. You don't have anything strange like those little obsidian knickknacks from before. Largely everything you have now is either jewelry, things with intrinsic value, or like weapons and armor.
Yeah, like stuff you can break down and use.
I don't think you have anything weird, unless I'm wrong. It would be difficult to pawn.
We do have a fair number of scrolls, actually, unless Resme is really itching to cast Touch of Idiocy on someone.
I'm not. We can sell all the scrolls.
You're dumb. So
If you wanted to win an argument really badly.
I can do that just manually. It's fine.
so the scrolls
Just punch them.
may take a small amount more effort. Those you couldn't sell at quarters and bits. All the weapons, armor, jewelry, and everything you could certainly offload to Krink. That's no problem. But the rest of it, Just the scrolls specifically, really, you'd have to find another buyer for.
What about Wizard's
Now,
Grace?
Yeah, you all know about Wizard's Grace. Have all been here long enough to know about that, a tavern that, Tyrannus is staying in, the much higher grade inn than the Pig's Ear. The proprietor, Miss Esquold, a bit of dabbling in the magic herself. And really, as far as scrolls or even anything beyond like the simplest of potions and elixirs is generally found in her place. Wizard's Grace is a fairly impressive tavern, really, compared to everything else they have here in Breach Hill. And after all the work you've put into the Pig's Ear, what with all the prestidigitationing and stuff, you've now seen the difference access to magic makes in running a clean tavern in a kind of nowhere town off the beaten trail with basically no real trader interactions. And just access to simple cantrips kind of makes that significantly easier.
Very handy to be able to simply chant the dirt off of your rafters.
Clean.
Bibbity, bobbity, boom.
So, a large amount of the afternoon is spent dealing with these clerical things, and I assume Buddy's stopping back by the farm whenever he gets any kind of an opportunity to.
Yeah. And I gotta fix my shield.
You gotta fix your shield. You have literally the whole afternoon, so if you want to roll craft checks, feel free, but you would have to, how much health did your shield have?
It had 21 out of 30.
You'd have to critically fail like 6 consecutive times before you got any successes to manage to screw up so bad that you just destroy your crappy shield that cost you, 1 gold to replace anyway, so I'll just assume, given the remainder of the afternoon and some time actually at home, not trying to work on this with a field repair kit, that you can easily get your shield back in tip-top shape.
So we sell for half, right?
Sell for half, yes.
All right, so Acid Arrow, False Life Touch, Divinity AC, we had it 12 gold before. Obscuring Mist, we had it 4. So if we just... Do we need to do anything to cash those in, or can we just say it happens over the course of the afternoon?
Yeah, but if you spend the afternoon selling a stop by Wizard's Grace,
Yeah.
you'd be able to offload the scrolls as well.
Okay, perfect. So that's a total of 20 for the scrolls, and then it was the bric-a-brac was worth 12. Was that 12 before selling or after selling?
That was sells for 12.
Sells for 12. Brilliant. So to that. And then we have 3+1 halberds, 1+1 morning scar, 1+1 greatsword, 1+1 warflail. I don't think any of us use any of those things that we don't already have.
I have no interest in any of them.
I mean,
I
you
was
do-
just looking at picking up Worship of Gorm, actually.
Here's your halberd, little halfling.
No, my greatsword.
Yeah, there you go.
There are the lesser potency runes that are embedded within them that in 2nd edition are now fairly easy to take out, but I believe everyone who cares literally at all about their weapon already has lesser potency runes in
I
their weapons.
believe so.
With the exception of the whip. So a lesser
that's
potency
true.
rune in the whip does apply to like trip and disarm attempts you make with the whip.
Oh, really? Does
Yes.
it now?
Hey, maybe
So,
I'd take
uh,
one of those.
Oh,
then.
hang
If
on,
a-
let me go ahead and put a little +1 next to my athletics.
Yeah, if the weapon has the trait. So if you have a weapon with the shove trait,
Okay.
then whatever
Cool.
item bonus the weapon has from its runes applies to shoves if you're shoving with the weapon. So
Oh,
if you're
perfect. I
tripping
guess
with
I'd
the
try and
whip
get one of those, yeah.
and you put a lesser potency rune in there, then you would get that +1 to tripping actions to the whip. That would take a day of downtime to move over.
Okay.
I can do that for you if you like.
So you have to do that like the next day. That's like a
Yeah,
day
that's
of
true.
downtime is a day of downtime.
So
Probably what it is, we just save one of the
we
weapons.
just
we'll
save
just
one of
save
the
it, yeah.
weapons
Okay,
and not
fair
sell
enough.
it.
So you'll keep a randomly selected weapon on hand. It's completely irrelevant which one.
Yeah.
And then,
The one that's 1 bulk and not 2.
fair enough, the one that is a one-handed weapon and not a giant halberd or a greatsword. And all of the rest of them you would also be able to easily sell off to Crink at Quarters and Bits, who would admittedly be incredibly happy to get a supply of magical weapons coming in that he can sell, because he just has what Clackett the Goblin makes, really, which is just mundane weapons, which, while useful, everyone's got use for lesser potency runes, and there are at least a couple of people in Breach Hill who've got the money for him as well. He would be more than happy to pay you half market for these.
Excellent.
Cool.
Could you remind me what half market is for these?
I believe a potency rune is 35 gold.
All right,
so
perfect.
if you want to just go ahead and just round all of the weapons together, and we'll say that you get like 19 gold per,
Sure.
because that's 17 and a half, and then like a gold and a half for the weapon on average, because they're mostly 2 bulk 2 weapons.
Right.
So let's just say you get 19 gold apiece.
That works for me.
I'll just average them out and not bother looking at the prices of all the individual weapons.
Okay.
Perfectly fine. So we have
So you have,
total
what,
6
5
we're
of them that
selling.
you're
Yeah, so
selling?
like 95 gold.
95 gold.
95, perfect.
Hey, about that healing kit.
Paid.
You don't need a healing kit. No, seriously, it's the biggest waste of money in the entire game.
What?
I don't know what your problem is. Just get over it, heal yourself.
Use magic, idiot.
Use magic, idiot.
Forehead.
What the heck is the point of worshipping a god of healing if you're just gonna do it the hard way?
Because you run out of magic eventually.
Porque no los dos.
Maybe.
What he said. I don't know what kind of Elvish speak that was, but
So-
what he said.
Canon. English and Spanish.
Yes.
So, later that evening, after you have kind of split up, dealt with all the finances of your crypt plundering adventures you've had over the last week or so, and the decent amount of money that you've now come into. I mean, realistically, this is a lot of
fortune.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this 95 gold alone from the weapons that you've offloaded is a small fortune.
I can
And-
send for my horse.
You could send for your horse. And especially for Buford.
I don't think I would have been there for all the money gathering and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure if I had been there, my mind would be blown.
Yeah, because you, for the vast majority of your life, your farm when you're working at, let's say, just purely by the earned income.
Takes like 20 silver a year, maybe.
Yeah, just purely from the earned income downtime activity, completely disregarding any of the expenses of actually running the farm. You have lore farming, right?
Yeah.
You had like a 50-50 chance to make 3 copper a day in general profits. So you make what, 90 coppers, 9 silver pieces a month?
Dang.
Almost the gold. This is like a decade's worth of income. Best case scenario for you. That you and your new friends have just come upon in a matter of days. Like that's the frame of reference here. 95 gold alone is an incredible amount of money. And how much money do you guys have in the communal stash?
The
at
communal
moment?
stash has 165. That doesn't count what we have on our sheets for our personal cash.
I've got 4 gold on mine.
I've got
So that's
23.
what I'm just saying. 165 gold
Yeah.
is a phenomenal amount of money. That would, like, if any one of you had that, you would be among the richest people in Rachel. Like, you're the 1% now. You're up there with, like, Baltus Burton and Twiddleton because he owns the only real shop in Breach Hill. Does pretty well for himself. Counselors, Twiddleton. Probably the only two that are up with that kind of money they've ever really seen. And Twiddleton, most of it's invested in, like, capital, running a business and everything.
He just bought some more capital.
He just bought some more capital for most of that money. So clearly he has an amount to work with. But as the day passes on, and as it comes closer to evening, I know if nothing else, Dalren, at the very least, was very much interested in Merrymead. And Merrymead would be a very major holiday here. It would probably be one of the biggest holidays of the year in Breach Hill. Not only because Caden Kalian is the primary deity of worship throughout all of Breach Hill, and Caden's Keg is a very large and very well-run tavern that a lot of Breach Hill likes for reasons that have nothing to do with Caden Kalian. Merrymead is a massive tradition from Druma, and Breach Hill itself, though it has very little trader exposure to the outside world, is like 50 miles from the German border at worst. And it's in Isker, you know, bordering Druma. This whole region up here, you can kind of see it. I don't know how much you can see in the camera. I mean, I don't have a world map to pop up on the screen. But I have a Breach Hill map to pop up on the screen. That doesn't help us at this particular moment.
Oh, yeah, I can't reach Hill.
All of Druma and Isker and Anderen and Galt even, this whole area, even all the way down to Taldor and all the way as far west as like Cheliox and even out to the coast like Ravenel.
Now you're just making up names.
Merrymead is a massive holiday. It really is like Galarian Christmas, largely. It's Galarian drunk Christmas.
Can't believe Tyrannus isn't going to participate.
Can I come? I've never gotten to do this before. Where we come from, we don't celebrate it.
Oh, you poor thing. This is quite a big local event.
Buddy.
This is my first time.
You know what, sis? You know what time of year it is.
I know. Can you help me, please?
What?
Otherwise, Grandma's gonna be very upset.
I want to see Grandma.
No.
Why not?
No. We have things to do.
but
And I just like motion Buddy over. So
One place at a
with
time.
with GM permission, Espis's grandmother, being a druid, likes
Okay.
to make berry mead. So to participate in Merry Mead,
Okay.
she makes chilled berry mead. So every year for this holiday, she makes exactly one cask full to share with family and friends. So is including bringing Buddy over to help roll this big barrel to just get into position to share with friends and family.
Berry mead. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something that you could do. So you would want to bring Buford over to your house for Grandma's berry mead.
Yes.
Whereas Dalrin, and then probably I imagine Resme, Dalrin definitely wants to go to Caden's Keg.
Oh, yeah.
And Resme, it sounds like, wants to go to Caden's Keg to experience
For sure.
Merry Mead as well. What would you be on? I don't know if...
I would be going with them to make sure that I can look after the drunk idiots who spout from this particular holiday. Make sure no one hurts themselves.
Now this is hilarious. This will never not be funny to me. For as long as Pathfinder exists as an IP, this will never not be funny to me. That's not a massive concern. You, on the one hand, would probably have heard of the mead riots, which are a fairly, unfortunately, commonplace occurrence in towns that do not have quite enough alcohol to match how much the population wants to drink on a given Merry Mead. Mead riots are a fairly common problem in much larger cities, especially in Druma itself, or in Eladir, the Isgari capital. But Breachill is neither big enough nor really that into it for it to be a problem. Besides, all of you guys know that, I mean, you literally have one person, it's just Farmer Kepcap, that's pretty much responsible for all of the alcohol in Breachill. So what are they going to go do, riot on his farm? You guys don't have trade, you have to do everything yourself. But that said, is it Cadenites? People that worship Caden Kalian?
Yes.
Cadenites, it is a literal anathema of Caden Kalian. If you are a cleric of Caden Kalian, which Bryn Taith, the proprietor of Caden's Keg, is, if you are a cleric of Caden Kalian, he will take your magic away if you're a mean drunk.
If you're a mean drunk.
Yes.
That is his primary anathema, is if you are not friendly and sociable when you're drunk, you get none of this magic. You're not a cleric anymore.
Wow.
I'm not concerned about the
I'm
happy
gonna
drunks.
have so
Must
much
be
fun.
a good drinking buddy.
It is
She's so cute.
hilarious to me, as the human GM running the game, that it's his first anathema. Below that, he has like free slaves or whatever. But the first one is you have to be a friendly drunk.
I'm more concerned about the people who will literally drink too much and end up sick or worse.
So you're not worried about people like
Hurting.
You're not worried
Rioting.
about bar fights
Yeah.
or mead riots. You're worried about people drinking themselves into an actual stupor. Well, the good news is, as the three of you arrive at Caden's Keg, which is an equally interesting building. The main entry chamber of the building itself is built largely of wood, almost to resemble a massive, oversized keg. It's a rounded front building that's painted up and plastered on the outside, covering the actual wooden boards, which obviously aren't comically oversized and exclusively vertical, to look like freestanding things. And around the bottom of where the windows, so the bottom and the top of where the windows are placed around this are 2 painted metal bands. It literally looks like a giant keg. This is just the front, of course. The back end of it is a much more standard building, and it's fairly large as well, because it is not just a tavern. The main central area of this just being that huge open circular room full of an assortment of tables and chairs around their 2 different fireplaces on opposite sides. But the backside is a chapel. This is a tavern of. This is an actual church of Caden Kalian. It's not exactly traditional. You're not looking at 2 rows of pews going down an aisle up to an altar with some candles and tapestries.
Are we looking at 2 rows of troughs with ale pouring through them?
Sorry, I did want to clarify for it's not at Esphus's house. Like they're actually going to take the barrel to.
Oh, you're taking this to Caden's keg.
Keg,
Yeah,
yes.
it's to
Oh,
share.
okay.
Yeah,
I thought this
They
was
gotta
like a little
get it
family
there.
gathering thing you were doing. at
No,
your
like
actual
that's
house.
that's the tribute.
Okay, all right. That's super awesome. I like it. But the chapel itself is a much simpler, carpeted little meeting area. The carpet, regardless of Bryn's minor magical abilities, as she is a cleric, you know she as well has magic. She's demonstrated many times. She's stepped in to serve as a healer on many occasions when
Troughs full of ale.
hunters
full of ale.
and people come back. Regardless of her magical ability, still stained all the way across from actual decades of just various spills. But there's no formal altar. There's no formal pews. There are some seats around the outside for like elderly, where parents want to seat their children so they won't just run around like maniacs, people that want to sit down. But the gatherings, the religious gatherings that are held here are largely just communal. Miss Taith just simply stands in the center and orates to the crowd around her. It's a good church of Caden Kalian. They ain't fancy. But as you arrive here, the entire outside of the building would be done up with a variety of brightly colored streamers wrapped around the exterior of the building itself, hanging down from the windows, and several signs posted out front. Not so much with various words and advertisements, but with nailed up more of these drawings, like what you would have received at your Homelwood. more of you would have found, like Buford, there would have been one of those as well at yours that your wife would have just kind of probably, I don't know if she's, do you marry mead people?
She might be. She's probably Amade, actually.
Yeah,
Probably what got
that's
me
entirely
an
up to
IOA.
you. I'm like, is this, are you?
Yeah. But she's not against it. She'd probably be out celebrating too.
Fair enough. And it
Um,
is
I guess I'll be wearing my fine set of clothing.
very fancy. Nobody else is. Well, not nobody else is. Some people take it relatively seriously. Miss Taith, the proprietor, actually does have a surprisingly nice black dress on as she serves this evening. Her red hair kind of drawn all the way back into a sort of messy but just large wadded bun, as it usually hangs down nearly to her waist, with some surprising and strange amount of formality brought here to what seems to be 94% of Breach Hill attempting to cram into a single building. Getting into Caden's Keg is nearly impossible. But that doesn't really stop anybody. The streets around it are full of merriment and revelry, as several volunteers usually come in each year to help Miss Taith run this and make sure that enough alcohol is dispersed out throughout the crowds to those who can't actually make it or don't want to make it into the incredibly packed interior. It's a big day.
If Miss Taith is around Esphus with Buddy helping carry, like I said, this large cask full, just grandmother sends her regards and just finding a spot to set up and
I would be like hollering through the crowds like, we got them berry mead over here. If anybody's been real sweet on Bryn this year, she'll be handing it out soon enough.
And with a cheer from those gathered around, the waters would metaphorically part for the group of you carrying this in to be tapped and handed out to the great masses. And if this is something you do regularly here, I assume attempts to get this berry mead would be quite a prized thing, as there is most certainly, I imagine, not enough for everybody.
there is not, and she only does it. It's one of those like once a year. That's it. The one keg is all that's made. So,
But For as long as the group of you wish to spend your time here, it is a spectacular evening of revelry. Other than your arrival with the keg itself to deliver it into the kitchens through the back side here, there's no way you can try and haul that into the front door. You wouldn't really see anything of Miss Taith throughout the evening as she is thoroughly overwhelmed just trying to keep everything running. She usually runs a surprisingly tight ship here. Weapons at the door, don't track anything in, don't be a hooligan. But with Mary Mead, everything largely goes out the window. Good news, again, it's a Caden holiday. As much as everyone is here to drink, they do respect the practice. They respect the holiday. And there's not really a lot of those kind of sword and breach shell that would just throw caution to the wind and go nuts here. It never devolves into anything terribly awful. Usually goes pretty well, I'd say. It's definitely a relaxing evening after everything it's been through. And you've largely had a more relaxing week after with the touching up the pig's ear has been a ton of work to overhaul that, unless you're Esphus, who wasn't there. Has been a ton of work, but it is a different kind of work from being trapped in a basement with Cinderclaw cultists. And it's nice to have a night's reminder that we are still all just here in Breach Hill, living life, having a spectacular time, drinking a whole lot of alcohol. Kate and Kaylee be praised.
Doing village things.
So, the evening passes largely without incident, as does the ensuing night.
If I ever had a kid, I always thought, a really good name for a girl would be Bryn, but, I've only had boys, and Bryn would be such a bad, name for a boy, but I've always thought that...
I do love the
like that.
proprietor's name. I didn't want to Patreon this one, because I thought it was too funny that her name is Bryn, fully as written.
That's awesome.
Well, if you...
I've never seen this name before this and you.
I've only met I've met two other Bryns. They were both in my class, and they were both boys. And I'm like, it's clearly a girl's name. And finally, there's a female human cleric, and I'm like, clearly a girl's name here.
Well, you could have named one of your sons Bryn Bob.
Nah, that wouldn't fit him at all. Are you kidding me?
So, as you rest, awaken the next morning, spend your time readying whatever spells you will need preparing for the journey quite a few miles up out of town towards this Guardian's Way. Any kind of special preparations or anything that anybody's making here?
I'm gonna change out Dispel Undead to another cantrip.
Who has the bracers of missile deflection? I know he gave them to somebody.
Me, I think.
I don't believe I took
It
them.
was one of the two of
Yeah,
you.
I think it
Yeah,
was.
I
think
didn't-
it was
it was me.
Richard.
Yeah, I didn't take them.
I took the bracers of missile deflection.
Yeah, and those are the once per day plus 2 AC, and that's when you get hit. You don't have to. It's
Yeah.
when you actually get it, so you don't have to declare it when the attack's aimed at you. And if that plus 2 makes a miss, it misses. And it's not a critical success, so you have 20% chance of it once per day making one attack not hit you.
There you go.
I'm still wrapping my head around Pathfinder numbers, but they don't seem super great. But it's better than a 0% chance once per day to make an attack that's not hit you.
That's exactly right.
Better than dead.
So after your morning's preparations, everybody gathers together at the northern gate leading out of town, probably about an hour after sunrise. You've got about a 6-mile journey. It's honestly about the same length as some of your initial adventures up to Hell Knight Hill, because you have to wrap up around the bluff and it winds so far. The journey itself is probably shorter and easier, because your walk up the Citadel Altarian was just winding back and forth these massive bluffs. You ended up walking near 10 miles of actual footpath. This is just staying on the road for about 5 miles or so, and then cutting west into the woods, just generally following a direction for an amount of time. But Tyrannus, of course, is there awaiting you. Halberd slung across his back, his breastplate polished up and repaired from any attacks he's taken over the past time, looking as pristine as the day you met him. Just ready. But his face, even as you arrive, is already grim. The books are getting passed out. Business is happening.
I took no direction instead of disrupt undead.
Okay, so he
It does exactly what you think it does.
looks out across the group of you. Finally, I had begun to wonder.
Hey, we aren't that late. You know, we've been marching up away here. Did you you didn't happen to get any mead yesterday, did you?
No,
Well, I got
I could hear the
something.
revelry from half across town, but I did not partake.
Well, don't worry about it. I got something special for you, and don't mind if I don't mean anything wrong with this, but I got here a little flask of berry mead just for Tyrannus over here.
You just put up a hand. Later, perhaps. Leave a mission.
Well, don't you want to keep it? I mean, what if we you sit down and you feel like trying it out? It's real good stuff.
There's Guardian's Way. There be headed.
I'm just gonna flip around the piece of paper that it got marked on.
Yeah, you'd had Jorah Black Dust largely just draw you a map.
And just kind of show them, well, we're roughly here, and we need to go all the way over to here. So,
So this way then.
yeah, so we need to go that way.
Very well, lead on. So, as the group of you make your way up out of town along the road, what are you all doing?
Probably the same stuff we were doing. Well, maybe not.
Maybe not detect magic.
Yeah.
Walking up the shield for
Yeah,
6 miles.
I'd
the shield
probably
race,
no.
yeah,
I'd just be like
you're just walking
searching,
down this, like a main road.
kind of
here.
around, or scouting or whatever it is.
I guess I'll be, whatever it is, making survival checks just to see what, if anything, has come before us along this path, or if there's anything we need to be worried about.
Okay.
Just to have another set of eyes along with Usvis.
Just keeping an eye on the surroundings.
Me and Nick are doing the same thing.
So there's no particular hustle. You're not
Yeah.
making any great haste up the road here to Guardian's Way. And the walk of a few miles is not particularly long nor difficult. Eventually, you've reached far enough to turn off the road at a small trail that Jorel had marked for you on your map. You see several of the signs he told you to look for. It's been around a right amount of time. And after another half hour or so, you're picking your way through the woods, approaching this Guardian's Way, this military outpost. Takes some time of just winding through the trees. You both on alert, looking ahead for any sign of trouble. You both looking down and around for any sign of creatures or anything that had passed prior. And Rur, of course, following the map, keeping on task.
I've been thinking about the potential powers of a necromancer and what we might be encountering.
Why don't so you're both just scouting?
Searching,
Searching
technically.
and scouting, and Resme or Dalren or Esvis can go ahead and roll me a perception check. Or are you scouting?
Oh no, I was doing the same thing. I'm doing the survival tracking as well.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Are
That's
we
what I
rolling survival or
thought.
perception?
You're rolling perception.
Okay.
Because we got to find it first.
I got a 19.
Okay.
Is this sound based?
It does not know.
Okay.
14.
Big old wisp of elf ears. I can't believe that's the first time that's come up, actually,
Yeah.
that we've had that. I guess you're not usually seeking, so you don't roll a lot of perception
Technically,
checks.
it even hasn't even come up this time.
That's actually true. But I mean, I don't think he's ever asked that question.
15.
So, as you two are largely looking around at the trail, looking for any sign of road, like wolf tracks or, God's forbid, a bear that just may be passing by in the years since Guardian's Way has been abandoned, Dalren, looking out through the undergrowth of the forest, just barely catches view of something. The sun is streaming down through this canopy here, spread of the trees, and the whole way is shaded. You are well off the beaten path by this point, picking your way through what is just barely a footpath, almost indistinguishable at times with its years of disuse, and without Rur's map it'd be near impossible. They'd have to be working a lot harder to track where you're even supposed to be going. But looking, spreading out in all directions beneath the trees are low-hanging branches, shrubbery, and undergrowth. It's green, and more green. you spot a slightly different bit of green. About 10 feet off the trail, through some leaves, you can see a bit of what looks like a patch of green cloth. It's certainly odd, if nothing else.
Esvis, what do you make of that? It looks almost like a cloak.
If he points it out, then I'll just longbow, knock an arrow, and just very quietly start stealthing my way over around.
I'll have his back.
So you kind of push your way through the undergrowth here, and it's fairly wild out here. There's a lot to use as cover as you slip through trunks and trees and approach to where he'd pointed this out to you. As you get closer, you can see this green cloth is just kind of caught out on a couple of outlying twigs on what looks like a large mass of just ferns and shrubs, but it's attached to something back underneath it. And as you get close, you can see, without any kind of a perception check or anything, a clear, dark stain of what was once a decently sized pool of blood dried in the dirt here around the outskirts of this bush.
And nothing else around that I can see.
Make me a perception check. We'll get you one more here. Or let's go with survival. I think survival might be more pertinent.
Okay. 24.
With a 24, whatever the source of this pool, it looks like it's been here for around a week. It's about a week-old blood, dried into the dirt, and another week or two might become very difficult to see. But since there is nearly no traffic, there's definitely no human traffic through here. There's not even a lot of larger animals, really. It's still undisturbed, mostly the surface layer. The wind doesn't even really cut enough through the shrubbery here to have blown more dirt and leaves over it. It's a lot, and it looks like it has oozed out from something underneath the bush. It's clearly enough blood that whatever had left this pool, unless it was at least the size of a bear, almost certainly died letting it. They didn't survive this.
I'll put my bow and arrow back and call back. Clear.
I go trumping through the forest, like just he's
Full
like
play-
tiptoeing around.
I was
Whole
following
trees
directly behind him
falling.
anyway. Do I recognize the cloak at all? Just because I tend to pay attention to clothing.
As you reach, you kind of reach down and look at it. You can just see a little corner of this, and it's torn and ragged. It feels faintly familiar, but you can't place exactly where.
I've seen this cloak before. I've seen someone wearing it, but for the moment I just can't. I can't place it.
How big is this bush?
What's out here in the forest is not even like a single bush so much as just this big sprawling mass of just growth and leaves. You have to kind of push through this waist-deep foliage to really get anywhere off the trail. But this little density around this tree is, let's say it's a fairly large area, maybe about 12 feet around. It's a pretty big clump of a pretty solid pack of shrubs.
Well, Dawn could take his geese arm and start like levering them to the side to look to see if he can see past them. See if they're worth, find the source of it.
I mean, it's not hard to reach down and just lever some of these sticks that the cloth is stuck to out of the way. And as you do, you see first the sun flash off a bit of shining metal. And behind that, more studded leather armor wrapped around a body. With this green cloth, a scarf wrapped around their neck.
Body under here. It's a bit tight in there, so I guess it might be a bit.
I could just grab the shoulder and
If
drag
you
it
can
out.
reach.
You
I was just
kinda-
gonna use the hook.
Yeah, as you reach Buford reaches down and just pulls this body out of here. You recognize the face of one of the singing spears from the Cult Heroes.
Huh.
With this body pulled away, you can see another very blood-stained breastplate behind it. There's 3 or 4 bodies just stuffed up under here.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh
They
my
did not
God.
have an easy time of it.
As you pull it out, you can see there are several, 6, 7 bits of wooden shaft stuck through the man's torso, and 1 through his cheek. The arrows have been snapped off,
arrow, okay.
but left inside him where they'd struck and pierced through his armor.
Probably immediately start raising my shield.
Yeah, each of them had been riddled with arrows. They looked like they never even got a chance to react, really.
Shield goes up.
Huh. And they dragged them here to
hide
dispose
them.
of
Does
the
it look
bodies.
like they were
By
dragged
the
here?
map, you should be very close to Guardian's Way by now. It's not much. You're within like 100 yards of Guardian's Way.
Guardian's
So,
Way.
Piecing together the bodies of these individuals and the abandoned military post, I think it's a safe assumption that the bandits might be using said post as a camp.
It does seem possible.
Wow, looks like we're gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone then.
Just the sheer amount of arrows that have been put onto all this people does make it immediately clear that it was more than 1 attacker. That or
I don't know about that.
That or they had some sort of supernatural or extreme magical advantage of some kind, because each of them took like 4 to 8 hits. There's a good 15, 20 arrows between the group of the singing spears now dead under this bush. And they are not pleasant, their remains. They have just been out here in the woods for a week, and it looks like a couple of them have had bites taken away. They've been ripped up by various animals. It's kind of a miracle they're still intact enough, I guess wrapped up in their armor still, that nothing has really gone into them, and they're still surprisingly in place.
Do the singing spears, do they have any kind of symbol or a sigil or something that identifies them as part of the company?
They would definitely, the clasps on their scarves,
Ah.
those green scarves and headbands they'd had.
Dalrin will collect them so he can bring them back to town to inform the council of what happened to them.
Kind of like dog tags.
Yeah, basically.
If we want to try to take whoever it is by surprise, I could go invisible and investigate and then come back and report.
Let's wait till we get close enough to
We're
actually...
pretty close as it is.
I'd rather have it in eyesight before we try, and I'll go with you.
Can you be invisible?
Just about.
Okay.
Real close. So, you all make your way back over towards the trail.
I will be invisible.
Are you going to be invisible immediately?
Yeah.
Okay, so you cast that spell as you head back to the trail, and it's not more than another minute before you can see the trees and the foliage largely spread out and give way, opening into a very sunny, innocent-looking clearing that it's impossible to mistake as anything other than Guardian's Way. Directly in front of you, there are still several massive oaks loosely clumped together with a 2-leveled platform drawn between them, up a good 20 feet off of the ground. These wooden towers that had originally been the bones of the outpost itself. You can see glimpses of more of them a little further in the distance, stretching between trees in the backside of the clearing, before it just gives way to another big, rough stone face, where a mountain climbs up high behind. Just in front of that is a single, low building. A very basic wooden shack, about 25 feet across, with no windows whatsoever, but with a simple wooden door directly in the front. You can see just under this first massive platform. You're still a good 20, 30 yards back in the tree line here. You wouldn't have been immediately obvious were there anybody there, but similarly, it'd be about impossible to see anyone in there from here.
Perhaps we should take cover here while Esvis and Resme scout.
I feel real weird sending them out there. You know, they.
I'm gonna scout up ahead.
We'll be fine.
All right.
Dalrin's gonna just kind of blend in with the trees. His hide armor, more just kind of blending in with the earth tones.
I'm just gonna sit down.
He sits down and he's gone. So,
Hold the bush
The-
up front, buddy.
group of you
Uproot a bush and just hold the whole bush in
Yeah.
front of Buddy.
approach up to Guardian's Way.
That bush is wearing a hat.
Yeah, this fairly open meadow here.
Very nice
I'll
hat.
actually just expand this up a good way so you can see all the way across. It's only so big. There's this fairly open meadow punctuated by 3 immediately visible stands up in the trees. The one in front of you is quite large, with a pair of rope ladders hanging down from the end facing you that clearly when this was in use could easily have been pulled up in a moment. And although it may seem odd that you are approaching from what looks like the most vulnerable side of this, you remember that in the Goblin Blood Wars, goblins and hobgoblins and everything just flew out of the mountains themselves. This is very much was built to defend against the bluff behind it.
So I said it was a fort, but it's really more of a treehouse.
Now, as you approach, invisible for Resme and hiding for Esvis, you can immediately make out 3 figures. On this front thing here, give me a second. I gotta do Arkenforge science. I believe what I can do is this, and then go up 1, and then paste you. No, hold on. Give me a brief moment. This is the first time. Arkenforge's got a really cool little feature that lets you have multi-leveled maps. I just have to figure out exactly how line of sight works on it, and then we're good to go. That's step 1. Step 1 is defeating me right now. I am having a difficult time with step 1. Okay, so I can just copy this token, right? Yeah, I can do that. So why can't I copy it up a level?
Because step 3 is profit.
I can copy it up a level. Oh, but it doesn't innately have vision. Interesting.
Oh, so you'd have to...
I see.
You could
That's not
temporarily
right.
move one of the tokens up to that level, right?
I could do that, yes. But I want to figure out how to do this right. Oh no, I know exactly what it is. Oh, this was a mistaken setup on my part because I just misunderstood how Arkenforge worked with these multi-leveled things. It is because this isn't dynamically lit. This is just Fog of War.
Oh, interesting.
Because Fog of War was the easiest way to do this one. And the Fog of War is actually level specific.
Huh. Which makes sense.
I mean,
That does
we are-
definitely make sense.
I mean, we're level 3.
From a Fog of War standpoint.
Alright, let me.
You got to be level 5 to ride this ride, though.
Oh.
So I should be able to just like. Haha!
Ah, there
Erase
we
the
go.
darkness.
Erase the darkness.
Erase the darkness.
And I can reveal
2 of Esvis.
2 of Esvis, yeah, because I moved 1 up and I was really confused as to why it wasn't giving you sight, because this is a.
Esvis walks into the meadow and sees himself.
This functions a little differently from Roll20, so it's bear with me here as we're doing science, but this platform is super duper cool, this Arkenforge. I just have to learn little bits of it like this. I've never messed with a multi-level map before.
If
Now we
Esvis
know.
sees himself, does that mean there's 4 more weeks of winter?
4 more weeks of brooding.
Alright, I can delete. Okay, here we go, and I'll this back over. I know none of you on the stream see anything as of yet because I don't know what I'm doing, so it took me a moment, and then I'll go back to this level.
That was our
delete.
tech issue for the day.
Bonus Esvis. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely take that as a tech issue. I'll 100% take figuring out how line of sight works or how Fog of War works on Arkenforge with multi-leveled maps for a tech issue. That was like 1 minute of fiddling. But up a level here, you can pretty clearly see 3 people. One of them just kind of standing near the edge of the platform closest to you, talking to another one on the northern end here that's sat down leaning against the trunk of the tree this platform is built against. They're both half-orcs, armed with leather armor, short bows slung across their backs, swords at their hips. The third one on the southern side is standing leaning against that tree trunk, just looking through a book of some sort. Clearly, the outpost appears to be manned. Now make me a stealth check.
Is that, do you roll that or does he?
Well, he's gonna find out the results instantly, so
Oh, okay.
it's pretty relevant.
Okay.
Because whether or not they see him,
True. 24.
they don't appear to notice you at all. Two of them are, they're all engaged in something. There's two of them busy with their conversation. They're talking about something. They seem to be arguing or debating some kind of point. And the other one is face down, looking through a book. None of them notice you at all. Resume invisible, obviously. They've got absolutely no chance of noticing that you're here. They're not exactly on alert at the moment.
Thinking about setting the wooden platform on fire.
God, that's not surprising to me at all.
Nothing like a forest fire to really get
Would
the
we be able
town.
to see the people from how far away we are?
No, we can't.
Our scouts?
Yeah,
Come back and tell
these
us.
platforms are like fairly high up. They're a good. The first one, the lowest of these, is a good 15 feet off the ground, 20 feet off the ground even, which would be up basically above the line of all the foliage and branches from the trees that you're still hiding behind. For the same reason they can't see you.
I'm gonna do a quick circle just to make sure we're not missing anybody hiding behind or under.
Okay. So as you make your way around here, just looking through the forts, and you're completely invisible, so you feel no real threat here. You know it's fundamentally impossible for anyone to notice you unless they have some kind of a magical ward.
And I'm
You-
fairly quiet to begin with.
You make your way up around where you can see one more of these half-orcs, armed and armored similarly, sat on the western edge facing you of this northern tree post, just kind of looking off into the trees aimlessly. Looks very, very, very bored.
And that's all I see as I finish my circuit.
And you continue around to the south here, past this simple building that has no real easy way for you to glance inside without opening a door,
That's fine. I don't want to open the door.
and down to the southern platform where you don't immediately see anything. Circling back around, you've seen at least 4 people, but these are fairly high off of the ground. So it's not only unlikely, but in fact very likely that you are seeing half or less of who's up there. It'd be almost impossible to see anybody up in the second level of the main central platform, as that's 30, 40 feet above you. All these other tree stands are like 15 feet around. They're pretty big. If anyone was just laying down or even standing on the back half of it, you wouldn't really be able to see them very well.
I will make my way back.
Now, Esvis, you're seeing much the same. The 3 on the central platform you can see, and from where you are, you'd be able to see the 1 on the northern back platform as well, because he's sitting on the edge facing you.
Once I'm back with them, I'll say at least 4, possibly more. 3 on the front platform, 1 on the back. I guess that would be northwest platform.
Northeast.
So it seems as though making sure that they don't pull the ladders up is going to be very important if we're going to go and take these places. It may be important for at least some of us to scout ahead to go and try to secure at least one route up to the platform so they don't fortify themselves and simply shoot us with arrows like happened to the poor unfortunates. I'm fairly stealthy. I could try to move up along one side of the southern side where those bushes have come up. Perhaps if there's a distraction on what happens on the northern end side, in case I get close or can't make the close, we might be able to approach the ladder that way and thus seize control of a route up the platform.
Well, what do these guys look like? What were they all about?
Half orcs.
Yeah, they're all half-orcs, every one of them.
Well,
I'll-
what about
I'll
their
des-
armor?
I'll
They look
describe-
like
The armor, what does it hide?
Yeah,
Clan.
each of them looks like they're all. It's a group of full of half-orcs rather, and they're all pretty orky half-orcs. There's kind of a spectrum of half-orc. I mean, orcs pretty strong blood. Most half-orcs are immediately visibly half-orcs. They're green, they have tusks. And all of them are, at a minimum, Jorl from the archives. Some of them, you're not even positive the orc is half. Each of them is wearing fairly simple studded leather cuirass with a dark green cloak drawn over the back and similar leather leggings with a short bow drawn across their back and a long sword at their hip. They all seem to be identically equipped as far as you can see. Each of them also has their own personal small quiver of arrows across the small of their back.
Yeah, all this.
Nobody looks like they have anything out of the ordinary. You didn't see any different weapons. You didn't see anything else. You didn't see any potions on belts, because they'd be difficult to hide given their outfit. They don't have any bags or pouches or anything.
I mean, I can get up there without them seeing me, but somebody's gonna have to do something because I can't take all three of them by myself.
Oh, no, naturally not. No, of course not. But that line of bushes that you described going along the southern approach should provide good cover on the way over, and possibly I could definitely make that close and be up the ladder likely before they know what's happened, and that secures a route for Buford, you to come up and support.
I can drop some missiles on them.
It may be wise for you and Esphus to stay in cover in the trees and provide support that way, especially if we begin to have, if we draw attention from the other buildings. I know we didn't see too much, but it's likely that they have more friends.
Well, I'm just wondering who these guys are. They don't, I mean, bandits aren't normally well kitted out, and these guys, if they're all wearing matching armor and matching everything, maybe they're,
Well,
An invading army, perhaps?
I don't know, I just find it
bandits
odd.
can have an intelligent leader who's capable of.
Yeah, that's true.
Why
Either
don't
way.
you guys, real quick while you're here, make is anyone trained in society?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me a society check.
21.
19.
Resume, having seen them, while this may not be your area of expertise, you'd kind of have an inkling, but with Dalren would almost certainly be aware. There is a kind of regional, small-time group of mercenaries that call themselves the Bloody Blades. And they are reported to be a group of half-orcs. And they're something that you would know because of the bounties on their heads. Because they do fairly regularly partake in some, highwayman-style activities and banditry.
They don't have an employer. This is how they pass the time.
Yeah, this is how they make their money, via stealing and murder.
We need a
If
group
this is
name.
them, again, there is an actual bounty on each of their heads on this group of mercenary
money.
bands. You know that you could make 10 gold for each of them were you able to turn them in alive.
Guess I'll get my whip out instead of my hammer.
You also know they have a leader who simply goes by Beetle. Reportedly a female hobgoblin. The bounty on her is 50.
Alive?
Alive.
I need bounties on them dead.
Half.
Oh, I'll take half.
I mean, we can definitely taking prisoners is something we could do if we are. Well, we really would need to get the advantage in the battle first.
And where I come
Safety
from,
is important.
you don't show mercy to people who don't give mercy to others in the way these men do. They have a horrible reputation.
Indeed, mercenaries, if someone would pay them, but otherwise they're common thieves and criminals. Definitely.
Seem to be having more success with that than with paying jobs, so here they are.
Alright, I like your plan. Let's put it into effect.
I will take on the one that was the furthest to the northwest, just to ensure that you don't have any long-range support from them.
I'll then try to move up, secure a route up, and then Buford and Tyrannus, you can follow up the route I secure.
Alright.
And I'll cover from cover.
Alrighty, so go ahead and place yourselves kind of where you want to be moving into this. If you want me, I know it's a little zoomed out right now, so the squares are kind of small. If you want me to scroll the map up or down, I definitely can. There is plenty of map to the north and south, but this is the left edge of it. So how long does your invisibility last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay, so you're definitely still invisible.
Oh, a bit far forward. She's gone. See little footprints just go.
No, you don't. Not with what I'm wearing. You see
And,
nothing.
Buford and Tyrannus back down here as well,
Air Jordans.
Yeah, man.
trying to make their way up into the trees. Esvis,
I'm
happy where he is.
I'm wearing air Alcetas. Teleporting you wherever you need to be.
I'm assuming that would be behind a tree, which is covered.
Yes, you're fine there. So as everyone moves in here, I am going to need literally everybody except Resume to make a stealth check to get into position without being seen.
And actually, Buford and Tyrannus can hang back further than that because the
Yeah.
goal was for me to secure this before they had.
Okay, so they can.
Yeah.
So not Buford and Tyrannus. Then, if you want to keep them further back,
Yeah,
I'll
that'd be the
just
goal.
I'll just have these two tokens back here, as if they are further behind.
It's a session reroll.
Take that. Thank you.
You are welcome.
5 to a 2.
The hero
The
point.
hero points coming out.
And a different die.
Oh man, this man's gonna need a refill, Chad. Lauren's trying so hard to be sneaky.
There we
There
go.
we go.
That's a 21.
21. All right, and Esvis,
21.
21. Rur,
3 with a hard 1.
Do you have a session reroll?
Yes.
You should use it.
I mean, you can't tell what another player to do.
So with a critical failure on a natural one,
Wearing very bright,
Brr.
vibrant colors.
does not really understand the concept of sneaking around. You're a cloistered cleric. You have Saren Raven. This is the opposite of what you've ever done, really. So you come out here towards this tree. Your metal, like, gleaming a holy symbol in your hand. And as you make your way towards the tree, the light streaming down through the branches reflects off of this directly into the eyes of the house. And just looks down and sees a manlet with a holy symbol. And I feel like that's a decently good place to. Everyone's already battling the initiative dice. Calm down, you savages. We're gonna take our midstream break here, and Deadly Doll cashing in for the hero point refill for Esvis.
Oh. You
Giving
big-
a hero point to Esvis because I'm biased.
That's-
We appreciate
you.
that one. But we're going to take our break here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a few minutes. Rur has most definitely been seen, so we'll see how charitable the Bloody Blades mercenary / bandit company is feeling. Hopefully, well, maybe initiative. We'll see.
Well,
Be right
the
back.
good news, I'm seen very obviously over here.
Welcome back, everybody. So as we left, our heroes were trying with mixed degrees of success to sneak into Guardian's Way here, where the Bloody Blades mercenaries have taken over the place, this old military outpost, and they've posted up in these tree stands around the area. Roar! Incredibly shiny, like yellow-robed little halfling cleric of Sarenrae that he is not a sneaky boy. He's not a sneaky boy at all. And that one, the critically failed stealth check. The scouts at this central tree stand here noticed his approach.
Nearly blinded by my approach.
You know how to really get some bloody blades? Trying to fight the good word of Sarenrae. Prepare to repent forcibly, says Arcadis, with his hero point out for Roar. Thank you for that one, Arcadis. As he sees you, he turns. This half-orc, not particularly large, honestly, fairly small and lean as far as half-orcs are concerned. He turns and immediately looks down towards you, concern and fury in his eyes, as he reaches back and pulls his short bow. He draws his short bow immediately. But before he can even actually get it into grip, he has it in the one hand off his back, and he sees you, a manlet with a holy symbol, trying to creep over to a tree.
Yeah, I don't have my sword out. I just have my holy symbol in my
Pretty
hand.
much out in the middle of this meadow here. He looks at you, and you look at him. There's eye contact. And he motions to his friend with the short bow that he was talking with, and you see a female half-orc's face kind of peer around the edge of the platform. And they exchange some brief words, and both clearly are laughing. And you see the Esphis on the northern platform in the distance, the head kind of crane and try to look over towards the tree you're hiding behind. And they just laugh.
And what's so funny about a Serenite?
What business could you possibly have up in these neck of the woods, priest? What are you looking for?
Looking for a friend of mine that has gone missing over the last couple days. She was heading north towards... Where is she going? The Dwarven?
She said Five Kings Mountains.
Yes, that.
Oh, the Five Kings Mountains. Yeah, towards Five Kings Mountains is like way...
Yeah, she said she was heading
It's a
off
huge
towards...
mountain. It's like the whole of the north and west direction from here. Lovely.
Yeah. She said she was heading off towards the Five Kings Mountains, but I found evidence that she might be heading this way, so I was curious if you might have seen her, but you looked a bit intimidating, so I was hesitant about approaching you.
And he just lays his hand kind of dismissively. He thinks this is hilarious, clearly.
Look, priest. Nothing for your kind here. I'd make your way back to the road were I you. Dangerous sorts this far off in the woods.
So she really hasn't come this far. Would you mind if I at least look around in the area?
And
Not messing with your business, just the area.
the woman, with her bow drawn and an arrow knocked, strides up next to him on the edge of the platform here.
What are you? No one you're looking for has made their way this direction, little priest. Leave.
Do I see anyone else that we didn't already know was here? Kind of
so
make themselves known.
You're kind of focused on hiding here. This is still exploration mode because we haven't broken into a fight yet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to seek, like get out to give enough of a perception check to get a really good look, you're gonna stop sneaking.
Okay, I'm not willing to do that.
That's kind of what I figured.
Okay.
So you can only have one thing you're focusing on exploration at a time.
Since I really don't need to focus on sneaking,
Yeah,
I
you,
will be
however, are
searching.
invisible, so you can search, and you go ahead and roll me a perception check.
You're the only one who's seen everyone, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah,
also
but now,
literally invisible.
but you came out, so I want to
Yeah.
see if anyone else came out in response to you coming out.
That look on your face of like, oh.
Ding. Session reroll. Give me your hero points.
That'll be a 19.
With a 19, you can see that the third of the half-orcs on the main central platform has actually made their way towards the center of the trunk. While they're keeping themselves hidden from Ruhr, she's around kind of the back side of it. She's not at all hidden from you. She has no idea that she's there. But she is reaching up for something that seems to be hung right next to the trunk itself. You can only see the very top of what it is, a curved piece of brass. Fairly large, looks like it's around 8 inches across.
I'm going to give it a second and wait to see what it is. Wait to see what she does with it.
She just is kind of standing by it. She's just there waiting.
Maybe-
Looking down
does it
towards
look like a
Ruth very
bell?
close. It looks like it could very well be the top of a bell.
Since everyone's sort of distracted with all of this, can I creep closer to the next bush?
You certainly
Possibly
can, sir.
under the platform?
So you, as everyone is looking out towards Ruhr, and you're still sneaking your way along here, you make your way up underneath the platform itself, near the southwestern corner of it. Now very much out of view of any of those half-orcs above.
Okay. And if they're really that distracted, I'll just climb up that ladder. it's right there.
Meanwhile, we're over here talking.
So
Well,
as you're talking with these orcs, out of the corner of your eye, you see Dalren just creeping up to this rope ladder, and he grabs hold to start making his way up. And as he starts climbing up there, about 5 feet off the ground, you have halfway up to that platform. He's pretty just in the open at this point, and he's completely opened up. And you hear a yell from the southern platform as another orc that you had not seen was kind of creeping through the branches here. It's a distraction! To arms!
if only they knew.
At that,
Is there a surprise round?
there's not surprise round. Everyone's you can, if you want, roll stealth for initiative.
I will do
Yes,
that.
I will
That's
do
what I
that.
would do.
Because you can't. You are literally, they've seen you.
Oh, okay.
That's the starting of the fight, is they've seen you. But you, however, are literally invisible. Anybody who is sneaking, anybody who isn't Ruhr or Dalren who wants to roll stealth for initiative can roll stealth for initiative.
Since I'm climbing a rope as quickly as I can, may I roll athletics for initiative? Shot in the dark.
You know what? I'll let it. I'll allow it.
Trying to scramble up real quick.
You know, you're scooting. You really do not want to be where you are. I would say Buford and Tyrannus are both probably about 20 feet back from the edge of the clearing because you were staying to wait until Dalren had made a. Hold on. Is that visible on this camera? Oh, it's not. He managed to land and die on the side of his dice tray, cocked up underneath the screen.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
just put it on Twitter later.
I'm gonna get a picture of that. Hang on.
That's impressive.
That's pretty good.
That is actually an impressive roll there.
Oh, I have it switched. I'll just take a selfie real quick.
Like, okay, boomer.
Got it.
So, I'm going to go ahead and just, for the sake of my sanity, roll 3 initiatives for each of the tree stands. And everybody in a tree stand is going to act on that initiative, because I don't want to roll literally like 12. Ruhr,
22.
22. You heard, I mean, you're the one who can clearly see the whole situation. You can see this arrow about to launch at Dalren. You can see Dalren climbing up. You can see these dudes laughing up at the tree stand. You're like, oh, what?
What? This is actually a threat.
What? Buford.
19.
19. Resme.
Also 19.
Who wants to go first?
Resme can go first.
Okay.
Gucci. A little bit there. You'll need a better way to track initiative with these little paper pieces of crap.
I
I put
love
on
these
top
little
of the GM
paper
screen.
pieces of awesome.
Esvis.
32.
Oh my god!
Holy what?
I rolled a 19 on the die. I have an 11 stealth, and my initiative feat gives me a +2.
Well, You are obviously first. Nobody is going to beat 32 at 3rd level. What is this, Dalren?
So I'm scrambling with a 23.
You scooting. You getting up there. All right. Tyrannus.
Here he comes.
3.
26.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
Key of little faith.
I have
We were waiting for them to yell out.
Yeah, Tyrannus is. This is a military operation now. This is his thing. He understands this. He's ready to freaking charge. Tyrannus is in there.
I mean, Esvis has already read 3 books and had a cup of coffee compared to him, but whatever.
And shot everyone who
This
is
fight's
visible.
already over. This is sheathing his bow. It's like, what? Omewa. Yero.
Like,
Nani?
Their initiative is to fall over dead. That's what happens.
Central tree stand is coming in. What'd you have, 22?
Yes.
You were the top of the 20. You were the bottom of the 20s. Central tree stand's gonna be coming in right after you. They're too busy laughing. You kind of got the drop on them. Northern tree stand is the one that is not alert. Hey, this is the lore. Northern tree stand's the one that hasn't realized anything's really happening yet. It's just kind of watching it. Like, what's going on?
Watch this last guy get a hard 20.
They're
Southern
eating
tree
porridge.
stand is super cocked. Southern tree stand got 25.
Oh my god. He gets.
Yeah, that's
I'm
this-
trying to scramble.
So we play tabletop RPGs for the dice that tell the story, and I will tell you a thing: the dice have determined this story. That's accurate.
Yeah.
He started the fight because he saw him. Rur gets to act before these guys who are really busy just kind of laughing at him. Resume's waiting for this to develop. Buddy's slowly clanking in. The northern tree stand has no idea anything's happening yet. We could have if we just made the initiative by what made sense other than Tyrannus, this is pretty much how it would have played out, actually. So, Esvis, obviously, you are up first. So, because this is a multi-leveled battle here, if you want me at any time to change the level that you can see on the map, just let me know, because there is a 3rd tier because there is even an upper level of the central tree stand, but I can just with a click bounce it back and forth between these 2 stands.
Can I see Southern Tree Stand, boy?
I would say not really, no,
No?
because
Okay, that's
they're
fine.
about the same. All the tree stands are about the same level, so they're all about 20 feet off the ground.
But earlier, since I'm in the same position that I was when I was stealthing, I can see Northern Tree Stand, who is completely
Yeah,
unaware
because
of this.
you are there specifically to shoot at Northern Tree Stand, man, and
Yes.
he is sitting there. He's still sitting. His feet are dangling over the edge, and he's just like looking, trying to figure out what's going on. And his buddy yelled, and he looked to his buddy. So he's looking the opposite direction from you right now.
Okay, so he's prey.
Oh, and let me give you like
A bunch of orcs.
as many of these as you end up needing. I didn't actually count them. We have a screen protector on the screen for you. One's like, monitor glass. But no, we have a screen protector over it.
This one's probably on the top level.
Because that will make it
I
a
don't
little
think we need
assumption, man. I literally did not count these out. I just grabbed all the things that look like orcs in the bestiary box and put them all together. So
I'm assuming we're going to need one for later.
There's probably one in there, yeah, because we haven't seen the hobgoblin yet, so she's probably around.
We've put all of them to use for potential hazards.
yeah, you're marking threats on the table. So Esvis,
So Northern Tree Stand is prey.
okay,
And
he's 65 feet away from you.
oh, good. My longbow has a range of 100.
Oh, all right, longbow. Longbow's easy.
Easy mode.
And I'll start this off with the Gatling gun, hunted shot.
Got no cover.
He is not in any kind of cover.
Okay. First shot. 27.
27 will critically hit him. He is, I would definitely say, as he is literally sitting, feet dangling, he's flat-footed, so that will critically succeed.
He's dreaming about pretty orc
He is
women.
dangle-footed. It's a worse flavor of flat-footed. You don't want to get the dangle foot when Esther's got you in sight.
Second attack is a total of 20.
20 hits.
Okay. So, critical, regular, and deadly die.
Deadly die also doubles.
Oh,
which
wait,
is
because you
pretty-
get a double.
He doubles the critical, the regular gets added, then he landed another hit.
So roll a D8 and a D10 first, because those double.
Do you
and then one
double,
D8
do you
that
double
doesn't
the deadly?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, why is my regular notifier on when it's in no way?
Oh, I like that.
We're never gonna escape this. It's just gonna keep happening forever. My regular notifier inexplicably going off when it's in no way connected.
I know.
Fatal is what you double. Deadly doesn't double. Deadly gets
Deadly
everything.
doesn't double. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
How? You're not even in OBS. How is this happening?
Roll your dice.
I'm rolling.
It's squid
Yay,
time.
squiddy time. Oh, technical things are hard to do.
Okay, so the critical hit is a total of 17 damage.
Okay. How?
Because the
Six
dice,
double.
so the
Oh,
six
there's
doubled to
six on the
12.
die.
Yeah,
Alright.
and then I got a 5, so 17 on the crit.
Pretty much flip the fan up. Yeah. 17. So you can tell this first hit nearly lays him flat.
And the second arrow is another 4.
And with those two immediate hits, with what I imagine is as close to a Wilhelm scream as a half-orc can muster, he tumbles forward out of the stand, and flops with a meaty thud into the dirt 20 feet below.
And I have one more shot. Is it an action to
I mean, these aren't exactly where these guys are, because these two have come forward to talk, and one's near the center. So that's where they actually are right now. I forgot to update them. That was their initial positionings.
Okay. So what's the rules of flourish?
and
It's
there's
like
a-
is
there's a
or,
ghost.
well, no,
Flourish is
yeah,
once per turn.
once per turn. Is hunt prey flourish?
I believe hunted shot is a flourish.
Hunted
but-
shot is, but like
Hunted prey, I think
designating
it just
You
says
mean a
once
flurry?
per
Because a
turn.
flourish is when you do something really
I believe hunted
fancy.
shot just says, or hunt prey says you can only
Flourish
hunt
is
one per
actually a
turn.
keyword.
Flourish? Really?
It doesn't have
Yes,
the flourish
yes.
keyword, it's just like differently spelled out as once per turn. I guess for future proofing in case the thing lets you flourish twice.
Okay, fair enough.
So you can shoot, but you can't hunt another prey.
Can I try to make a stealth check to go back to being hidden? Because I'm assuming shooting reveals me.
Shooting absolutely reveals you. And since you're still behind this tree trunk, you can absolutely make a stealth check. Go ahead.
Okay.
If you beat the perception DCs, you will return to hidden.
28.
So you are hidden again. So, Esvis, never even seen, from behind the tree, looses 2 shots, drops the dude in the northern tree stand, and just gone.
White death.
They're too busy looking at me.
And that's the end of my turn.
Tyrannus, 20 feet back, is going to use the first of his actions to get to here, and the second to stride up a little further behind this first tree, where he sees them all drawing bows, and Dalren climbing up. He's going to take cover with his halberd up behind this smaller trunk, hustling forward but not needlessly exposing himself. The southern tree stand, friends,
Friends?
less friend,
Okay.
is going to draw an arrow and take a moment to kind of really hone in here as he sounds this alarm and really draw a bead down to Dalren before he loses one and then a second arrow in rapid succession.
Am I flat-footed while
You are
climbing?
flat-footed.
Okay, I'm being 18 then.
Okay.
Actually, is he my level, or is he higher than my level?
He's not higher than your level.
I have deny advantage. I'm AC 20.
Oh, solid. He is not higher than level 3. So the first arrow, he's at a decent distance here, and they're wielding short bows. He's kind of at the maximum this is really effective. The first arrow whizzes by, whereas the second is just going to shoot through the rung below you, just below your foot as you climb. He seems to be a little bit too far away to really draw an effective bead on you from there.
Could you imagine the angle he's trying to shoot at?
He's got a really tough angle. Like, he's shooting through what is at least cover, trying to pick up Dalren as he scampers up. Speaking of Dalren, that will bring us to you. You are halfway up this ladder. It's 10 feet, you'll be able to clear the platform. So that would be 2 climb checks, or a critically successful climb check.
With the ladder?
You do still have to make the climb checks to go up the ladder, because you can still only climb 5 feet as an action. It's much easier. The DC is very low, so you're much more likely to critically
And much more
succeed.
likely to critically succeed.
Yeah.
Okay. Action 1 is going to be a scamper up that ladder.
Give me an athletics.
Natural 1, which is an 11. I don't know what the DC on the ladder is.
That is going to critically fail.
Okay.
So caught off guard, I suppose, by the arrows being loosed your direction, as you try to hasten your pace, the ladder twists. You try to avoid and end up losing your grip entirely. Fortunately, you're only really like 5 feet off the ground, so you just fall back down to the ground.
Oof. Well, that's no good. Gotta be up there. All right. Again.
Okay.
Shooting at me. Gotta get up. All right, second attempt.
So he wasn't trying to hit you, he was trying to inspire fear.
Ooh, on the
So,
worst
Fear
climber
inspired!
ever.
So that's a 12 total, not a critical failure this time.
A 12, actually it would have been a regular failure, because an 11 would beat the DC, so your success would be Dragon Door, so you didn't fall.
Okay.
So that would regular succeed, which would mean you do actually go 5 feet up higher. So you kind of cling for a minute and twist. You're not so much of an idiot, you can fall off a rope ladder. And you make it you start trying to go, maybe hurrying a little too hard, trying to avoid this and make it 5 feet up. One more successful check will get you to the top.
Let's do it. Hey, that's gonna be an 18 that time.
18 will critically succeed. So with a critical success, I will let you this last 5 feet basically mantle as part of that action, because normally mantling is an action. So you'd have to get up to the top and then spend one more action to mantle up. But with a critical success on the climb check, I will let you mantle as part of that action.
Okay, perfect. So I will do
So
so,
I
and
will
now I'm
go up.
standing right there,
Like this.
Standing right
staring
there.
at a bunch of possibly angry, hostile half-orcs.
And they're after Rur, who's up now.
So, which one of the ones in front of me is the one that laughed at me first?
The southern of the pair.
Bullying is bad, kids.
The one at the corner is the woman, who's a little more direct. The guy is the one 10 feet to the south. They just kind of, they were both laughing at you, but he was laughing, called his buddy over to also come laugh, and then started talking to you.
All right, well, we're going to channel one of my diplomatic spells that I prepared here. Command
Okay.
to approach me.
Huh.
Okay. Because I assume that's just a will save.
Critical failure, he has to spend his entire next turn coming to me. On a failure, he spends his first action coming to me. On a success and a critical success, nothing happens.
What's the success?
DC 19.
Maybe, but if he succeeds, okay, let me just roll it.
Nothing happens.
Okay. He is going to succeed.
All right.
He's dumbfounded. He's like, his brain is shut down. He has no idea what's happening. He's being ambushed by a freaking cleric of Sarenrae. His brain is turned off. He's not susceptible to mind-affecting magic right now.
All right. Well, then I'll just... I'm behind the tree.
You're kind of
Sort of.
near the tree. You're not behind it quite
I will
yet.
take cover behind the tree.
Okay. So, taking cover, then you'll have that greater cover. Meanwhile, up in this first tree stand, these orcs here, these three, are going to mobilize up against Dalren. This one, as the magic takes hold and he sees you and like hears your armor as you clank up on this, it's not exactly subtle, is going to drop his short bow, step forward, and draw out his longsword, readying to battle.
Okay. I'm going to activate my cat medallion to get myself +2 AC for the turn.
Oh, right. You critically failed that identify check.
Oh, I
so
totally
you
did.
envision
Okay, that's
and
interesting.
activate the cat medallion, and you feel yourself become somewhat more nimble. You feel it'd be much easier to acrobatically move across uneven surfaces or mantle things. But it's not really going to help you avoid this attack.
But the universe is having some fun with
I was
you.
like, what? Oh, right, you critically failed that.
I've been shepherding it this entire time. Like, this is the moment for it. Yes, I'll go up there, and the cat thing will keep me safer.
Well, it's fitting for a cat, I suppose. Cat, help me.
Now.
But you do burn it. AC 20, you said?
AC 20.
He's taking a swing. And as you get up, activate this and feel it fail you, You immediately have to fall back to your normal reflexes. The fairly wide, brutish swing of the longsword, you step mostly back and just clattering across your armor. Though there are several more up here.
I'm sure there will
This
be.
one here is going to take an action to ring the bell she's standing next to, clanging it back and forth, making sure everybody anywhere near this now knows the Bloody Blades are under attack. With that, she is, I'd say, there's a main trunk supporting all this. She's kind of behind. She's going to peek out around it, knock an arrow, and also sort of draw a really steady bead towards Dalren, and then fire 2 of them in quick succession. This is more short bow range. Okay, I'm hero pointing. You guys need to hit something. Villain point! Villain point. Stop rolling bad.
That one.
Much better. So this first arrow is going to hit you, and the second is not. And with her proximity here, with this close range, she's able to very effectively aim this shot, dialing it in to be as damaging as possible. You are going to take 10 damage.
Ouch. Okay.
It's close range short bow. It's what they're for. The third... Well, you're clearly the main threat here. They're still not wildly concerned about whatever the cleric in the back is doing. She's got her bow out. She's also going to draw out her longsword. And what's your move speed here? 25, I assume? Yeah, 25. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Ah, she can't flank you in a single stride. So
She'd have to stride twice.
she would have to stride twice. So she's just going to kind of circle around here to the backside of you, getting into position with her sword drawn as well.
Are either of them above my level?
No.
They can't flank me anyway.
I don't know that.
I know it's great.
They get in position, they're ready, and you
The
just kind
fourth
of dodge
orc
out of the way.
at the upper level of the central stand here, the alarm having been raised, can't really easily see down to Dalren. So his bow already, oops, that's the screen. His bow already in hand. He's going to step forward to the edge. He's going to look down. And he was just kind of listening, not revealing himself. He's heard a bunch about a sun priest and an ambush. He sees Rur down below. And as he draws this bead as well, takes a moment, then looses a pair of arrows.
16
16.
with whatever greater cover is.
Greater cover is a +4, so you're actually at 20. This trunk's protecting you pretty good. Mancha, I was on the receiving end of so many. Feel my suffering. Handing a villain point back to me to refill my stock. Thank you, Mancha.
Hate you so much, chat.
What is empathy? We don't know.
And the cycle continues.
Land in the thing. This arrow is going to thud into the tree in front of you, with the one following it just barely whizzing by into the underbrush behind you. The tree is pretty solid cover here, and he's going to miss both shots. That is going to bring us to Resme.
Resme is going to fix her eye on the female one who is ringing the bell and has now tried to go around to also surround Dalren.
I would say you definitely can't see her from here because you're like kind of 15 feet up around behind this tree on the northern end of the platform, and she's on the southern corner of the platform. So like it's 20 feet up above you. You can't see her.
I can't even tell where we are. All right, so I'm going to come around where I
Yeah, let
can
me-
Here,
see
look,
her.
look over here, honey.
Okay, that's better. Thank you. Then I'm going to move around to where I can see her.
Okay, you could move out around to the western side of this would let you see this whole fight, because Dalren was descended upon immediately when he got to the top of the ladder. So if you want to just stride out here to the open, you'll be able to see her.
I'm going to get a little bit back further, like as close to the bushes as I possibly can, while
You
still
can
being
get
able to
one more with one stride. Any further is a second. You speed 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one more with one stride. Any further would be another action.
Okay, that's fine. And I will drop a triple magic missile on her.
Well, you moved, so you only have 2 actions.
Oh, I only have 2 actions. That's right.
You can do a double magic
You can do a
missile.
double magic missile, yeah.
No. I am going to do electric arc on the 2 that are attacking Dalren.
They have to be next to each other.
No, they
I
don't.
don't think they do.
They do
They
not.
do not.
Really?
I just have to be able to
She can actually
target
just
them both.
warp the lightning around you and just over your head and
That
zap
works.
them both. Yeah, it does not. They do not have to be adjacent. It's just both have to be in range.
Make them saves.
All right, reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
DC.
19.
The lady is going to succeed, and the guy is going to also succeed. They do, though they are half-orcs, known for being relatively brutish, as you see more and more of them again, they're not, none of these are your giant, like, Golrish kind of characters. They're all archers. They're all fairly lean and lithe. They're surprisingly nimble and quick. They're lightly armored. And,
So whatever half of 11 is.
5.
So
You'll
5. They
zap
both
of
take
them
5.
for 5 damage as this shot comes through. And that will bring us to Buddy.
I'm gonna start charging my way. You hear like a hurricane.
Yeah, your first stride gets you onto the screen, basically.
And then, I'm just gonna charge all the way to try and get
okay.
as close as I can
5,
over.
10, 15,
What's this cover
20,
nonsense
25,
Tyrannus
5,
is talking
10.
about?
So you just want to run right to the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buford Boucher charging in.
And then the last one, the last one was Northern Tree
Got
Stand.
shot to pieces, I think.
Yeah, he's
Well,
gone.
the one that was hiding up there from his position.
I just imagine the horror on this man's face. Like, yeah, I'm hiding, and then his buddy just...
His buddy just flopped forward. He's angry. This dude is mad. This one is very upset. And this lady, with her bow already drawn, is going to look down, an arrow knocked towards her, and then see a magical wizard appear in front of her and lightning fly out of her hands and think, oh, no, I'm going to shoot her. That seems more of a problem. What is your AC?
Resme, seeing this, will go like this and yell out a magic word that the orc won't be able to understand. And
This is for the bracers.
Yep, it's the
That's
bracers.
if you get hit.
Oh, that's if
You
I
don't
get
have
hit.
to use them until they've successfully hit you, and then the +2 AC is it might make it miss.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
17.
So it's functionally, I mean, it's basically, I guess it's strictly better if you can just
No,
activate
it
it as
really-
a reaction. It just feels worse because it might do nothing, but I guess it has way more of a chance of doing something because you were guaranteed to have been hit already.
Nah.
So yeah, if they hit you, then you can activate that.
Fair enough.
So, 19 you said?
17.
17. Okie dokie. Well, she draws a bead for a second, focusing in before releasing a pair of arrows as well.
Might as well be 19 for this first shot.
The same thing.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't hit 17.
All right, well, the first arrow's going to hit. You want to do the thing? Because do you want to use the braces? The first one does hit you.
This is where you stay with your.
This is where you decide if you want to
okay.
use them.
Yeah, sure, why not?
It still hits you.
I know.
It's a weird item, the bracers of
That's
missile deflection.
bizarre.
It is strange. So this abjurative ward kicks in, but you can see the arrow wobble in flight a bit, but it's not enough to bring it off target. She had a pretty solid beat there. And the second shot, however, the bracers will throw completely wide, as this arrow, already a little high, seems to be floated like a paper airplane by this abjuration, sail off into the trees. And then with their last action, she will just take one final, maybe I roll a 20. I rolled a 20. So,
Of course.
good news, it's just going to hit.
Okay.
Because with the -10, 17?
19, because I still have the bracers up.
Right,
So,
true.
yeah, so one roll.
So it is just going to hit, because even with a natural 20, the number would be a failure, so the success will bump it up one. The first arrow is going to strike you for 4 damage, and the second for 2.
You'll see, she'll see something very disconcerting. She'll see the specter of a man rise up out of her body and take both the arrows onto him, and her be mysteriously unhurt as she waves at him.
They just hit this ghost, and they kind of just fall down to the ground harmlessly. That's not horrifying at all. Her resolve to continue shooting you has been only increased. And as we go to Esvis, you would see the front door swing open here. As from inside, another combatant enters the fray. And
Player
makes-
12 has entered the game.
makes her presence known. A hobgoblin poking out, with her short bow drawn, a hood drawn up about her face with actual holes cut in the back of it for her kind of horizontal ears to poke out from. She's got an eye patch drawn across one eye, where even from this distance you can visibly see a massive red scar cutting down her face. Looks out with a bow and hisses out, "Draw the ladders, imbeciles!" before knocking an arrow.
If only they could.
So, let me add her.
I'm assuming she's
A
standing
session point.
in the doorway.
I'm on build point. Yeah, she's right in the door right there. Oh yeah, I didn't reveal her token. I keep forgetting because there's not layers like there's in Roll20, so it's just a faint little blue aura.
Yes, use your points on initiative.
Oh, we got her
We
already.
already have it.
Unless it's a special one.
I had one for her.
Oh, it is like a
nice.
Yeah, it is actually a
She looks
hobgoblin.
better, more impressive.
All right, I'm gonna use one of my villain points for her initiative. That's
you
a
want to
little
use
better.
another one?
How about a 23? Where's that put me?
That puts you
With Dalren.
With
right
Dalren,
above
yeah.
me.
Yeah, right there.
So I'll put you.
I'm 22, so
Dang it! I really wanted to beat Esvis because she has a plus 14. She could have done it.
Ooh.
I just needed spicy dice and I didn't get them.
Who wins initiative? Just out of curiosity, because
You
they
get 20. Don't have 22, right?
I had 23.
No,
He
I
had
had
23.
22.
He had a 22. I
I had a
thought players
23.
win
Oh, you had a
ties.
23. Oh yeah, you win. Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you both had 22s.
No.
Yeah,
Players
players
win
win
ties.
ties. So she right there. Esvis
Can I see her?
certainly can. She's on ground level.
She is prey.
She definitely has cover.
She is very prey.
she doesn't have cover for long.
Yeah, she's like here.
She was feeling all safe and secure.
Until an arrow took out her other eye.
And Hunter's aim. I'm going to ignore her.
Covered, you say? Let it shut up.
See, the problem is she's standing on the wrong side of the door. The eye patch is on the left eye, so she has to come out even farther to look out with her right
The
eye.
life patch is on the left eye. She's leaning on the door this way. That's where it's supposed to be.
It's
She's leaning
perfect.
to the right
Chris.
around this. It's on the correct side.
She's standing on the right
You
side of
have
the
to roll
door.
now. or
Anyway,
we don't
I'm
know what
rolling.
happens.
Derp, look at the map.
I'm going to session
Look at
reroll.
where the wall is and where she is. She's peeking this way around the wall. She's looking with the right eye.
Door.
I'm still confused.
She's doing
Explain
this.
the way walls
We'll
work.
go over this later. We'll have this as part of Buddy's left and right seminar.
Oh, converted.
I rolled a natural 1, turned in my session reroll into a natural
Oh,
20.
that's a pretty high value session really. Woo! Ready? Gusta.
That's value added.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely critically succeeds.
Oh yeah, that's right. The total would have been 32 for the
Yeah,
hit.
I mean, it definitely critically succeeds. If it doesn't, just leave right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
All
right, we're up.
Like, oh, I see we were mistaken. My bad.
I'm going invisible again.
So she takes 18 points of damage from that arrow.
Now she opens the door, and almost immediately an arrow comes through and catches her in the shoulder. Pretty solid shot from back behind the tree here. And she just leans back out and sees you and narrows her one eye as she gets her bow ready. Tyrannus! Kind of stuck because Buddy is at the ladder.
You can
He's...
jump on my shoulder. Don't worry. I'm real stout.
He did it too. I hate to do it to you, Tyrannus. But he's kind of got to win.
There's another ladder.
He's delaying.
He's got to run like... He's got to do so many strides to go over to the other ladder. I hate to do it to you, Tyrannus. You rolled so good. But he's got to wait until after Buddy.
Well, he actually might. He's just
Also a rope
delaying, right?
ladder.
You don't have to delay when you're going to cut back in when you delay, right?
Well, he's delaying. I mean, he is delaying. He probably will go here. He may step in earlier.
I'll try to give him something to do.
That's probably his plan, but he's currently delaying. Now, stand 3, which is the southern one. Now that Dalren has moved up to the level, still has lesser cover from this large tree that is kind of in between you guys. And this guy, he's actually going to move the other side of his tree stand to get a better angle at you around the trunk of this. Still going to give you lesser cover. But then he is going to, once again, lose 2 shots.
All right. AC 21 with the lesser cover, I guess.
You guys are so bad at shooting. There's 2 force. Why are you like this?
They spent all their good dice on the singing spears.
He clearly isn't hitting you. Couldn't hit you when you were on the ladder. Can't hit you now while you're busy dueling 2 of his friends.
You might hit one of his buddies.
He is going to, as his last action, switch his aim over to Resume.
not rethink his life and become a farmer?
No, Dalren.
Huh?
Dalren.
You're it.
That's
Oh,
your
it's my
turn.
turn. Okay, okay. I didn't know he was gonna. Yeah, he moved for his.
He moved, double shotted, and hunted a new prey.
So, being the vanguard on top of the wall, it's rather important that I actually make a hole for my friends to come up and not just gum up the top of it. So, the first thing he's going to do is feint forward and then throw a strong kick behind him and just try to mule kick this guy, this
Off
goblin
the
behind him
thing?
off the platform, right next to where both Buford and Tyrannus
Okay,
are
so
waiting
which,
for him.
who's getting the boot?
This one who's basically right on the
Yes.
corner of
Oh,
the
so
platform.
you got the move. Yeah,
The
she's right there.
easiest one
All
just to
right.
boot right off.
Your shove. What's your fort DC? Ooh, you guys are not strong.
Are they Fort DC 29?
They sure are not. That critically succeeds.
I'm just
You-
right out into
you-
the open air.
Like shoulder, the wind gets knocked out of this woman as you actually like pick her up and launch her off of the platform.
This is Sparta
And
style.
she goes flying backwards, absolutely just slamming into the dirt below, where she is definitely prone, and she's already taken 5 damage. She's going to take 6 more from falling as she just slams into the dirt and sits there stunned for a brief moment before trying to scrabble her feet.
Bye,
That's
Brian.
one.
That's one. That's great. Second one.
Yeah, Tyrannus will take that. He's alright. He's a piranha waiting at the bottom of the pool.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, hell yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
We secretly sent you up there just to knock them down to the actual killer.
Totally works. I'm totally okay with this.
That was a value action. What an action.
Geez, there's another one up here too. Yeah, this is perfect. They don't even have to climb up the ladder. Second action, I'm gonna spin around to the other side and just knock that one off too.
So it is a -5 because shoving does have the attack trait.
Yep. Hey, it's fine. That's gonna be a grand total of a 22.
22 will also knock this one off. The problem was they came to fight you with swords. Clearly, they should have been just trying to toss you back off the platform. I mean, you are and this is hilarious. It's an elf fighting 2 half-orcs. You are way bigger than these two. Because Norin's 18 strength.
I'm a 16 actually.
16 strength. Still,
Yeah.
not a small guy.
No, whipcord muscle and all that.
These are not that. They are fairly small, lean half-orcs. And as she comes around, she circles around, you just keep her momentum, throw her off, step around, and just boot the other dude off the edge.
He is Mighty Dragon.
I'm a bully. So what I
He's going to take 5 more damage as he also just boom, boom, as both of them just land on the ground. As you toss them both. Tyrannus is going to step into initiative.
Did someone say Tyrannus?
He's going to move forward behind Buddy. And they've both been zapped and tossed. And as she is laying prone on the ground, he's going to reach out with his halberd overhead and just bring the blade slamming down on her. The natural 20. And, he is going to hit her for 26. Probably literally bisecting her. She lands, is stunned for a brief moment, goes to move, looks up and just sees Frink! This massive halberd blade slamming down on her.
She does have a reaction.
No. She doesn't.
That's an
That's
ancestry
not an innate.
feat you have to
That's
take.
not an innate half-orc thing.
Oh.
You have to take a
Does
feat
not,
for
they
that.
do not have
These two, was
ferocity.
it? That one. Okay.
Oh, that was gonna be hilarious.
No, she's very dead. They do not have ferocity.
Okay.
And then he is going to turn, bringing it back down, past Buford, down onto the second one.
Wait, that's money.
And he's going to miss that one. Buddy's kind of in the way. He kind of exerted all his effort into this slam. And as he brings it around, the guy hits the ground and literally just bounces out away from the blade as it shears into the dirt next to him.
It wants you to rage.
He's alive. So, taking this arrow, Beetle, gonna narrow her eyes out towards Esphus, raise her short bow up to her good eye, and just loose one calculated shot. What is your AC?
20.
20. This is burning my feeling points. But they're rolling so bad. I'm down to 1. I'm down to 1. Beal, come on. That's more like it. That is going to critically succeed.
Okay.
As she hits you right back in turn, her arrow seemingly perfectly ignoring your cover. As you guys just hunter's aim back and forth. It's a ranger fight, Espis. And she is going to hit you for 6! Because it is still just an arrow. And, oh wait, no, fatal, right?
If it's a longbow.
Deadly adds a deadly
It's a D10.
Deadly D10 or deadly
D8.
D8?
D10. So it just adds a D10 on top of this. And it doesn't double. So 6 plus 10 more, 16.
There you go.
Very deadly.
And then she's going to sneer and step back into total cover. So you can no longer see her.
Oh, see, I thought the door was over here, not over there.
Oh, no, you can see the door on the map. It's there.
Yeah, it looks like it's cracked open over here.
Oh, he thought it was.
I see. I see what you mean. Oh, right, because it's kind of just connected to the middle. Now she opened it all the way up wide. Brr!
While reciting a prayer to Sarenrae, I'm going to...
All these arrows just land all around you.
Yep. Just ignoring the hail of fire around me, I'm going to walk out into the open, looking at the one at the very top, reciting the same spell that I tried to cast on the other one who is now laying prone, looking very sad. And I'm going to
Well,
command...
it worked. He came down.
He came down. I'm going to command the one up top, with the power of Sarenrae, to approach me. Come down here.
He critically fails.
His next entire turn is him coming to me.
That's a natural one.
These guys are so good at what they do.
These guys are not good at rolling dice. That's the problem. So with that, he sees and you see his face kind of drop, and he lowers his bow, and the arrow he had knocked, he just drops onto the ground.
He still keeps his bow and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they're just
He just
dropping
has
the
to
arrows,
spend
he has
his
a free
entire
hand
turn
to
coming
work
to
his
me.
way down
Yep.
the ladder. And it is now his turn. He's gonna move to the ladder. He's gonna make an athletics check to climb down. He's gonna critically succeed. He's gonna make another athletics check to climb down. He's gonna critically succeed. They kind of live here. They're good at this. And he is going to end up here, right next to Dalren. He just climbs down next to you. You can see his eyes are like glazed over, and he has a dull expression in his face. He's with one hand, the other hand is holding his short bow, just scampering down this ladder before he lands on the ground and blinks a couple times and looks up at this elf in front of him.
Who also looks a little surprised. Huh.
Oh no!
And I'll tell him real quick, surrender unless you want to get kicked down.
Resume. Oh wait, no, there's the guy on the ground too. It's technically his turn. He's also alive. He's gonna stand up, just leave his short bow on the ground, stunned, draw out his longsword, and just take a wayward swing towards Buford.
20.
He's gonna hit you, actually. I mean, to be fair, you're trying to climb a ladder right now.
Well, I'm on the ground. I haven't started climbing.
Yeah, but I mean, you like reaching for
Oh,
it,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you're not,
yeah.
like,
Okay, I
defending
thought you meant
yourself.
for... I thought it felt
No, you're not
flat-footed.
flat-footed.
Okay.
And he picks that sword up, and as he just comes up from the ground, just sticks it up, and it slides up under your cuirass. And he is actually going to hit you for 8! Not only alive, he's doing stuff. Do it, little level 1 bandit. You got it.
You got this.
Now Resume.
Resme will... Is there any way I can kind of get out of sight of the guy standing on top of the building who was shooting at me before? If I move, like, toward Tyrannus a little bit?
This northern guy?
Yeah.
Both the northern and the southern stance have their bows trained on you right now.
Okay.
So you could
Can I move
behind, like, this tree here. Or there is a solid trunk at the base of this. This is all supported up on.
Okay.
Basically, any of the trunks of the trees you can use as cover.
Okay, great. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call down 2 more bolts of electricity on the 2 guys standing near Dalren, and then I'm going to take cover behind a tree.
So you can only see the one that's on the edge. So,
Then I will...
because the other one is like 15 feet back from the ledge and it's 20 feet up. There's no way. you can see
Oh,
the
okay.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell with those things.
Yeah,
Okay.
multi-leveled encounters are interesting to envision. He's up. He's 20 feet above you, 15 feet back. There's no way you can see the second guy. But the other dude just climbed down a ladder on the edge directly in front of you, and you could definitely zap just him.
Yeah, that's fine. I will use telekinetic projectile instead.
Okay.
It's going to be a 19.
19 will hit.
Okay, where's my... Oh,
Very cocked.
Very cocked.
You still got the 6.
10 points
Nice.
of damage.
That's the guy up top.
Yep. What?
He
rolled
will.
2? Oh, that's right. I do. It heightens. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're level 3 now. You do have heightened cantrips. So more than 10 points of damage.
That's going to be 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage. You slammed this, and this dude's turned around from you, already worried about the elf is about to boot him down to another dimension. And this pierces right through his studded leather and solidly into him from behind, right through the spine, nearly taking him down in a single shot.
And then she will go, tree, and dive behind the tree trunk.
All right. And then from there, you will have regular cover. Buddy.
Okay, so how far away am I from the door that's that opened?
2 strides.
2 strides. Okay.
About 45 feet of movement.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start running over there. This girl with the half orc stands up, whacks me. I shake my head at her and I run over there and I stay outside and I slam the door closed and I'm like, you guys.
No, thank you. We don't want any.
Try again tomorrow, please.
You guys are outclassed here. You'd better shape up here real quick.
You just slammed the door in Beetle's face. No.
And now you're standing in front of it,
Yep.
too. This is not how I envisioned this.
So,
Go to your room.
on the northern side here, we still have one aimed at Resme, who now does have cover, but he's still going to, or she's still going to lose a couple arrows towards your directions. What's your AC?
Is it greater cover?
Regular cover.
Regular
It's take an
cover.
action to make greater
So
cover.
2, right?
2.
19.
The first
So good.
That was amazing.
first shot is going to hit. Second shot
Has to roll.
is not going to hit. Third shot
Hail
was not a
Mary.
20. Fourth shot was also not a 20. So, as these arrows just rain down at you, as you take cover, one of them shoots through as you close to the tree. Again, at this kind of close quarters here, something to be aimed with pretty great precision. It's going to hit you for 8.
The shadow will jump up and take what looks like a hefty amount of damage before it dissipates, and Resme's shoulder will start bleeding for real.
Okie dokie. That brings us back around to Esvis.
Well, since
Your hunted prey has gone away.
as
Um,
not even mad, just all right.
Plenty of prey to go around.
Okay.
I'll just move it, hunt prey on the other northern one.
Another one up on the platform?
Yes.
All right, just okay. That's because just skeet shooting in the back here. Like he's only. I mean, you did get one really good shot on you for Beetle, who does not appear to be playing games, but you just. Having a great time.
And hunted shot for the 2 shots.
I guess you have actually probably taken the most damage of any of the party in this fight, so you're probably having the worst time back here with the archer fight.
So first shot, 21,
21 hits,
and second shot, 26.
26 hits.
Okay. Frown, not a critical.
Hey,
This guy's
second
also
shot is
undamaged
pretty
at the moment.
Fair. Okay. So this and this.
They're not that potato. They got armor and they're fighting.
They're pretty potato.
still wanna. For 11 points of damage.
So 2 arrows land solidly into the last half orc remaining, the last of the bloody blades on the northern platform here.
And I'll take a third shot.
Okay.
Because why not?
Because I'm a range. 23.
Hits.
13, 19, 18?
Man, these
19.
guys- That's another
13,
19.
19.
Like, we're super good archers, and Gelling Asvis is just like...
And another 4 damage.
Another 4 damage. So 3 of them slam into this half-orc as she stumbles backwards, but still readying her bow, looking up now, probably honestly just now seeing you back there behind the trees. She's just stuck full of arrows. Like, we were supposed to do that to you.
We brought our own artillery.
On the southern platform, you still have one guy at the edge there, firing out towards Resme as she runs for cover.
He's trying his best,
And he sees Buddy run up and shut the door, but he heard Beetle yell out. So he is going to take an action to pull the rope ladder up. Because Buddy is spookily close now. He's going to pull the rope ladder up. He doesn't want this massive, paladin to come rampaging up here. And he sees what's happening on the central platform in front of him. He wants none of that. He pulls the rope ladder up. And then he just calls out in a worried voice, Beetle! This is going poorly! And fires 2 arrows out towards Resme. That's going to miss. The second, also going to miss. And then the YOLO
was a great sound effect.
Yeah.
is also going to miss.
The frustration of
you'll
being
hear
unable to
Resme
use
go,
bows.
"Ah!"
2 arrows thudding into the trunk of the tree and 1 whizzing right by. Also, turnip donut in the chat.
How appropriate.
How appropriate to give Buford a hero point. Hashtag Buddy. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much. What was it? Turnip donut?
Turnip donut.
Donut.
Dalren. Let me guess. Does it involve a shove?
It might involve a shove.
Wait, can you do bludgeoning damage to the other half?
I think if I drop him on his head, I might be able to.
He is directly underneath.
Oh my god.
Boot boy.
So the guy comes down the ladder, the eyes refog up and look and sees, and Dog's like, huh. Just grab him by the front of his and belt and just lift him up and just dump him over the edge.
Bodily heft him. I love it.
That's a 25.
And we'll bodily heft him and throw him off the side. So as you cast him from this platform, he falls down as this other guy down below scrambles to his feet and makes a staggering strike towards Buford before the other one lands on top of him, knocking both of the pair unconscious. Just in a heap.
That's
gonna-
cash money
We're
right
making some
there.
bounties yet, boys.
I'm gonna slide unconscious over here.
You got
And
2 unconscious.
then I guess I'll just turn. Is this one still on my level?
Yes.
Because one from the top level? Okay. I'll look over and says, coming quietly.
And she, a little concerned, but still holding her longsword.
Shove her off the...
Today.
Let's
Go!
Oh, that was... My luck has run out. That's only a 6.
6 is going to critically fail.
Oh, no!
And she's
Oh,
singing
I'm
this-
sorry. It's an 11.
on
It's
the
an 11.
dice.
Oh,
6 on the
okay.
die.
11
It's
a
an
regular fail.
Yeah.
She holds her ground. She's not. She's staying this down to 3 people. She's not doing it.
Last action, have it your way then. Pull the geese arm flowered up into a ready stance.
Very big blade comes out in front of her. Tyrannus, on the bottom, just sees, cuts 1 in half and sees someone stand up and just boom, boom, boom on top of him. What is happening? And,
I have it secured. Go and assist the others, please.
I guess he is just going to charge up behind Buddy here and take a position with his halberd. How did she go? Did you just shut the door in her face?
Oh yeah, she wasn't helping us none, so
So the door's shut.
Where's the door, Drake?
Inside, you hear the sound of sliding blades and metal. Not sure what she's doing,
Not opening the door.
but she doesn't make any attempts to open the door. You can't see her anymore as you have shut the door.
Does this mean we get to set the building on fire?
Please don't.
Our pyromaniac.
Brr. So there is one left on each platform, as well as Beetle in the main building.
Well, I suppose I'm going to make an attempt to deal with the one way over here. How far is that exactly?
Lose the loss of the ruler tool is my one great side is from Arcane Forge.
Yeah.
It's probably like 80 feet. I'm not counting squares. It's
Gonna
like
pull out my crossbow and take a shot.
you pull it out,
Reload
load
it
it,
and take a shot.
load a bolt in, and just fire one up.
For 17.
17 just barely misses.
Okay.
17 just glances off past the studded leather. Alrighty, that is central platform. Central platform with her longsword out, seeing you draw this massive disarm. Is her free hand up? Kind of like a stay back. And she's gonna take a stab with her longsword, trying to outstab the geese arm here. What's your AC?
It's a 20.
She's gonna miss. And as that one, as you deflect that one up, she just brings her blade down and just a almost careless chop towards you, which is also going to miss.
That's not an axe.
And as you just parry this first attempt, and just step aside from the second, just tosses the sword down to the ground. Fair enough.
You saw what I could do without the weapon. Look at what I could do with the weapon.
She gave it a try. Nope.
Not for me, Dom. Not doing this.
Resume.
Resme, with lightning almost crackling from her eyes, will light her hands afire, getting ready to throw a produce flame at this guy up there. Will walk out and go, unless you want the forces of creation to assail your wretched body, you will climb down that ladder and surrender yourself to me.
Definitely still shooting.
That's fine.
This one has not been so persuaded quite yet.
I'm gonna shoot at
So this is
him.
the north platform or the south platform?
The only one I can see.
North platform.
North
You can see them
platform.
both.
You can probably see them both.
You can probably see them both.
Yeah,
They're
you're
both
mostly
shooting at
past
you.
the central platform,
Yeah.
yeah.
South would be out of range.
I don't
That's
know.
true. South's pretty far.
Yes, I can.
All right,
I
so-
cannot do the south.
Throw some fire up north.
Yep.
Who I believe has taken like 10 points of damage from this already.
And some from me, maybe?
I don't
no,
think north
no,
is-
I killed that guy. That's right.
Yeah, put 3 arrows into north.
Yeah, he's taken a couple of hits.
That's gonna be
He may be
a
too
20.
out of it to consider this. 20 is going to hit.
He took 15. The north one did.
Yeah.
I think that's
He's just desperately reaching for an arrow. Like, he's in fight till die mode right now. He's beyond reason.
Oh my god.
Well, it might
It's
have
gonna be
appeared.
12 points of fire damage.
All right, now he's also very on fire.
I promised him the forces
With the
of
3
creation.
arrows, the shafts catching and the fire racing into him. You just have screaming panic for a moment before you just see some flames and smoke as all that's really coming up from the northern platform. He appears to be down. All right, buddy.
I'm gonna put this one down up
Well,
here.
she's not restrained yet. But I
No,
don't
but
know.
she's not fighting.
She has her short bow still, but she dropped her short bow too. Her short bow, both her weapons are on the ground. She has no weapon. She doesn't look like she has a knife or anything visible. Buddy.
Okay, a good thinking, Tyrannus. We better deal with this one. So I'm gonna call in the house. You better not be doing anything fishy in there. And I'm gonna try and roll intimidation.
Well, since you asked so nicely.
For what is this? Intimidation for 15.
I mean, you have no response.
She's probably real intimidated. And I'll open the door and step aside, step down next to the door.
Okay, so you open up the door again
But I'm not in front of the door. Now Tyrannus is in
to
front of
see
the door.
her standing there now with a dagger up, almost upturned in front of her, and a rapier in her other hand, waiting with both blades up for something. But she does not
okay.
immediately strike as you open the door, and then you step.
Oh, well, I guess if I see her like that, I guess I'd just raise my shield. I guess I'm just like, little missy here. If you could just lower your weapons, I'd be much obliged.
These sound effects are perfect.
Could you please not? She just grins. I'd advise you the same.
I don't have any weapons up right here. This is a shield.
That's miss.
You're confused. It's not pointy.
Okay, so I can't see southern platform from where I am.
No, actually, the only person you can really see at this point is probably Beetle. Though there is Buddy and Tyrannus in the way, she is visible.
Hunt prey on Beetle.
Might
She's
as well,
still
right?
Did you switch it to the other guy?
Yeah.
switch
Yeah,
to
but that
the
guy's
other one.
dead.
Okay. I was like, oh, that's fair. Oh yeah, you switched it and shot him a lot of times.
Yeah. And, yeah, I'll Hunter's aim Beetle.
Okay.
What cover?
No cover. Feels bad.
26.
26 will hit.
Better put your weapons down. I advise you to save. 3 points of damage.
What?
Will we take them alive or not? I don't
Arrow comes
understand.
flying in from nowhere.
That's the end of my turn.
And the last man standing up here on his southern platform, who had Resme hunted. He's seeing everyone moving on the building, and he's just gonna, in a bit of a panic, Beetle, what do we do? What's happening? And loose 2 more arrows out towards Resme. It's gonna miss. This dude is just panic shooting. He's gonna miss. And then he is going to move to the back of his platform and take cover. Taking cover of the platform itself. It's not cover from Dalren, but greater cover from everybody else because you're down below him. Dalren. You see this guy take 2 panic shots down at the platform and didn't hold his bow. Like, he's got his bow almost up over his head as he's, like, cowering. It looks like a weird little crab in the back of the platform.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
You are
30.
not serious. You gonna jump?
Oh, no, I'm not that good.
Oh, I was like, you're caught between the platforms. I was like, are you gonna try to jump? Like, there's no way you have that acrobatics.
He's got a geese arm. He can pole vault.
No, he just turns into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, crushes
Wait,
the
surrender.
entire thing.
Stay
into
here.
him.
Eats up the platform.
Could you imagine how scared you would be watching a man jump 35 feet just to look down on you with
Anyway.
contempt?
I was like, my brain, you're counting the flowers, my brain's like, there's no way he's gonna jump. There's no way he's gonna jump. That's accurate. But
That is true. No, not planning on it. Let's see. She seems to be appropriately cowed over here. I guess I don't have to do the Calmont treatment yet.
Do it.
Maybe I should. I probably should. That'd be the smart thing to do. Oh, I really want to chuck javelins
6
at him,
seconds.
though.
What are you doing?
All right. I see him over there, and he's still active. So I'm gonna move to the corner of the platform, pull a javelin, and say, "You over there!" and just fling it out to try to catch him with it.
Okay, he has no cover from you.
It is in the second range increment.
-2.
-2, so that's going to be a 23 to hit.
23 hits. So this guy takes cover and then takes a javelin from the other platform.
7 damage.
For 7 damage. I don't think he's been hit yet.
Nope.
Tyrannus, down here on the bottom, now behind Buddy in prime halberding position, is going to... he's through the doorway. You can't really do a huge swing. But he's going to pull back, kind of step to the side, and thrust forward around Buford's shield with as much strength as he can muster. You could call it a powerful attack. And he is going to miss as he tries to get it through here. And Beetle, flipping your dagger down to the side, his blade scrapes across hers as she puts it up. And as he tries to withdraw it, she even forces it over so it catches in the doorframe before he can even draw it back. And he'll try one more swing that just really has no chance of recovering from that before he has to regain his balance here. And Mr. Jake the Impaler in the chat, every hero needs a cowboy hat. Isn't that right, buddy? Add it to your pile.
We need more cowboy hats.
My God,
that's
you're
what we
rolling
need.
in it. Look at you.
This is what happens. This is chat loves the costuming.
It's
Yeah.
the
He's got
power
the
of
sick
the
monocle,
hat.
This
but the
is
cowboy
Jake-
hat appears to be
Jake the
winning.
Impaler.
Spectacular. It's spectacular. I agree.
So that is going to bring us around to Beetle, who, as she fends off this attack from Tyrannus, looks at Buddy with your shield raised, and she's small, like she's a hobgoblin. She's She's maybe 4 feet tall. Now that you can see her in full, she has got some fairly ornate leather armor drawn around her. The rest of these orcs have just got basically like studded leather, like hides, just kind of strapped around them. It's armor, but it's not fancy. Hers is phenomenally well made, as is the rapier and the dagger she wields. And as she looks you up and down, before she uses her dagger to like bodily try to just push your shield up and go around it, striking with both weapons in tandem. So what's your AC right now?
22.
22, you say? The rapier strike is going to hit. And then the dagger following it up is going to miss. It is using that to largely get your shield out of the way. So she drives this rapier up into you. You can tell that whether this is just extreme expertise or something you don't really understand, it is far more lethal than it should be. She's going to catch you for 11 damage.
Alright, and I'm going to slam my shield down, trying to snap her weapon in half as it comes into shield block.
Yeah, at least force it back.
Yeah.
And so you'll take 6, and your shield will also take 6. Oh, wait, no,
Okay,
your
wait, it's
hardness
hardness
is
is
now.
7.
So you'll take 4, and your shield will also take 4.
Yeah.
So she sees you're clearly also quite skilled here. She is once again going to step back around the corner of the door frame here and to total cover for everybody outside. And she'll just motion with the dagger hand after this quick little exchange as she steps back. Come on in. The bloody blades don't end until I do.
Well,
As you wish.
All right. I'm going to spend 2 stride actions to come over here beside Tyrannus.
Heading on up. Just scooting under the central platform here.
And I'm going to pop shield. And that'll just be my turn for now. Getting into position.
Getting up where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, resume.
Resme will just move over toward the far platform. There still is a guy over there.
Yeah, the southern platform still has a dude.
And she doesn't want him coming out and interfering with her friends when they least need to be bothered. So she's gonna go take care of him. So
But how far you want to go?
as far as I need to do to be able to see him.
I think he's using.
He's got greater cover, so like you can see him, but he has like without going on a platform, he's gonna have greater cover.
I mean,
there's really nowhere on the ground you can get.
I just need to get within 30 feet so I can use magic on him.
Okay, so that's probably that is gonna take you 2 strides. He's pretty
That's
far
fine.
away. So you'll move up behind this this lower tree.
And then I will pop shield.
Okay, and throw up yours as well, buddy.
Yeah, now listen here, lady. This don't have to get all gory in here, and I'm going to try and intimidate again. Let's see here.
You cannot attempt to demoralize the same person.
Oh,
within 10
right.
minutes. That one's on my quick reference sheet because I
that's
keep
good.
forgetting it.
I totally had forgotten that. Okay.
Yeah, I actually put a time restricted actions on my little quick reference sheet
good.
here because I always forget that demoralize
Okay.
is a cooldown.
So
It's in
I'm
front
going,
of me now.
I'm going to grab my whip is in my hand here, primed for the ready. This is its moment.
You came in ready to whip.
And I'm going to snap it down at her ankles and try and just flip her upside down.
Alright, I screwed up. Trip is against reflex DC, not fortitude.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Ah,
Okay.
I
So
realized-
sense.
It does make sense. I realized I was wrong on that. Shove is against fort DC, trip is against reflex DC.
makes sense. That's an athletics, or is that no?
It
That's
is
just
still
an
in
attack
athletics.
roll.
It's not. No,
Because
it's
it's
an
a whip.
athletics.
It's a whip.
you use the whip, but it's still an athletics check.
Okay.
It doesn't make it an attack roll. It just gets the properties of the whip if it has it.
but when we
Okay,
put
so that's
opposite
a-
on it gets better.
Yeah, that's a 21.
21 is going to fail.
Okay.
As you lash down at her, not because you did anything wrong, but because, again, she is very quick and clearly like leagues more skilled than the rest of the archers in her band.
Okay.
She appears to be an expert duelist.
Okay. And then I guess man, I was really hoping for that intimidate. And I can't I just have to. Okay, there's nothing I can do to kind of get her down here. And I can't, like, hit around that corner, can I?
You can. It's cover. From the door frame, you can hit her. She has cover. Like, Espis and them outside, she has total cover, and they can't target her at all.
Alright, well, I think I guess I'll just raise my shield and just continue trying to talk her down. But like, now, you see right here, you're outclassed, ma'am. You'd better smarten up real quick.
She's taken 2 arrows and nothing else so far.
And one extremely lethal arrow,
One
and
very good
everyone
arrow.
else in her group is almost down-ish.
All right. Espis.
So I can't see her because she's ducked completely
Yeah,
behind.
she's in total cover. Like, she's completely 90 degrees around the corner. So she's back there. She's just not a target. You can't see her.
Okay,
You
there's
have to be up by the door, to be able to see
Okay,
her.
that's fine. Then
You can see the guy on the southern platform. He just has greater cover.
hunt prey.
What cover?
Hello! Now, hunt prey, does it ignore greater cover?
Hunt prey is I just have to see them.
Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking hunter.
You mean the hunter's
Hunter's
aim?
aim is what I was thinking of. I'll say it does for now. We can look it up later because it's never come up before. I don't want to look up rolls
That's
right
fine.
now. If you want to hunt to aim him, we'll say it ignores greater cover.
Okay, I'm
We'll
going.
add that to the list of things to look up later.
Okay, hunter's aim. Yeah. 26.
That hits.
You like fire it up, and it just comes out of the sun.
He takes 8 points of damage.
He is down. And that just leaves Beetle alone.
Just don't say her name 3 times.
Eh.
Well, technically, there's the one that's surrendered in the middle platform, but I mean, I don't feel like she's really participating anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right, at least we have 1 action left.
No, that's hunt prey and hunt to shot
Oh,
is 2,
oh,
so
you-
I'm done.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, you hunted aim.
Yeah,
Hunter's
hunted aim,
aim.
not
Okay.
hunted shot. Yeah.
Alrighty, Dalren.
Okay, so I'm on a platform that's about 20 feet above ground, and then over here, Beetle appears to be sheltering inside what appears to be some kind of shack.
It is a fairly small little wooden barrack, it looks like. It's very simple. It's just straight 2x4 planks around
Single story.
the outside. But yeah, single story roof. Like half the roof is only like 10 feet off the ground. It's half as high as the actual platforms themselves. It is a very small little shack. Very small, very basic.
Great. So Dalren, I'm going to go ahead, kind of judge the distance a bit. That's probably my best gap, and I get to actually sail over the heads of my companions. So if I screw this up, it's going to be hilarious. I'm going to run and jump off the edge to clear that gap to land on the roof of the building.
Okay. You were trying to jump
10 feet.
15 feet.
That's pretty good.
Well, that would be trying
I
to
think
clear a
he's-
5-foot jump,
Yeah,
right?
I think he's trying to run this way to land literally
Yeah, like this.
above us.
Yeah. Yeah, like basically just trying to land on top of the...
Yeah, that's 15 feet.
Okay, so that would be jumping 5 feet is jumping 1 square?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So 15 feet, and maybe I get some extra distance for falling. I'll let you decide that.
Well, let's see how the roll goes.
All right.
You want to just launch yourself 15 feet up onto this roof.
Let's do it. Hey, that's a 24.
24 definitely makes the jump.
All right.
So you...
Does the top of the thing look sturdy?
That's what I'm deliberating.
Because if it's
mentally
not
right
that
now.
sturdy, I'll actually stiff arm and try to crash right through.
That was what I was currently deliberating. This is the roof of this abandoned, very simple wooden shack. I'm sure it could support people, but could it support a fully armored barbarian
Flying in.
slamming into it from 10 feet up?
At a
Give it
running
a
I could
percentile
roll something.
die?
Dealer's choice. Do you want to break it or not?
Yeah, I'd love to break it.
Athletics check to do the thing that you want to do.
Let's do it.
We'll let the dice decide here.
It's a 28.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
come through in superhero land
Okay.
when I come through.
So with a 28, Dalren slams in through the rooftop here, bringing it down on Beetle. And as you're standing here trying to talk her down, Buford, there's just this enormous
What in the
crash
hell?
and cracking of shattered wood as Dalren smashes through the ceiling, landing on top of Beetle, knocking both of them prone across the ground. You each I'm gonna give you an extra D4 for roof shards.
Woo!
You each take 7 damage, and you're both prone.
All right. So do I have an action left?
I believe jumping is 2, so I think that is your move up there, and jump is your 3 of them.
All right.
So you just
Yeah, because a long jump is 2
Long
actions
jump is
with a
2
stride
actions
and a
with a-
jump. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that would be because you only need the 1 stride to get there.
Yeah.
Oh no, but the movement of the jump is part of this. Has to be part of the stride as well, I think.
Well, you have to move at least 10 feet before you do it, and I was here, so actually.
So you would have had to like move out to get a running start towards that, because you couldn't like run sideways and eat
Yeah,
yourself.
I
at an
think that's
90-degree
fair to
angle.
say.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
it's
so
fair
one
enough.
probably all
stride, you
3
get the running
actions.
stop, and then your 2 action long jump to jump off the edge.
Okay. That works. I like it.
Kyrie, not sure, JCB, Dalren, that move deserves a hero point.
Nice.
Nice.
I 100% agree. And as she is sprawled on the ground here. Oh, Tyrannus. Tyrannus not a great place. He's gonna step around to the side. She's definitely still got cover. But he's gonna try to take advantage. She's prone, she's flat-footed, that neutralizes the cover. And he is just going to try to slam his halberd blade down under Buddy's shield towards the ground. You suck, Tyrannus.
He got the initiative, but that's all he got.
That's all he got.
He really blew it early. But slamming it in there as the dust is just blowing through in shards of wood and this huge blast, and her on the ground, he doesn't compensate quick enough to Dalren bombing through the ceiling. So she is gonna very quickly scrabble to her feet, which is gonna provoke from Tyrannus. He hit that one!
Yeah!
He's got one. That's a regular hit because it's an attack opportunity. That's gonna do 13 damage!
We'll take it.
We take those.
Good job, T.
And from the, she staggers up, not even stagger up, she jumps up pretty quickly, takes his halberd strike, and staggers back on the back wall, clutching at her side, pretty severely injured with the hand still holding the dagger, and looks down to Dalren on the ground.
Just posed.
Well, he also took 7 damage guys from the ceiling. He's prone, so I don't know if that was the correct answer.
Well, yeah, his clothing is kind of shredded in a sort of attractive way.
She's just
The monocle's still on, too.
She's just gonna spit out. What the hell is this? What kind of fighting do they teach you?
You sound like Tyrannus.
And just try to strike down at you as you're on the ground here. Bully the man. Just really more mad than anything else. Offended that you would do this.
And she finally sees a picture of Buddy in her mind. You're like, now do I really need to be doing this? I could be alive in 10 minutes.
A beautiful future 10 minutes from now where I'm not bleeding out.
Sees the golden horizons of surviving the next round in the future. The most powerful glimpse of redemption possible.
Oh my god, it hurts.
She's going to stay her hand as she goes to plunge the rapier down into him prone. She's going to stop, just grit her teeth, and turn with a growl to Buford and swing the dagger your direction.
Okay,
What is
that's
your
20.
20?
Because
Did you put your shield
no,
up?
I did put my shield
I'm
up, so
pretty
it's
sure your shield's
22.
up. 22. And she's gonna miss. Her dagger just clattering across your shield. And let's see. After all this time, still, and take one more just enraged swing with the rapier towards Buford. I was gonna miss that one as well. Still, I can't escape the dregs of humanity. And just clattered out one to the side as well. Like, she's clearly very injured, and her form is dropping pretty hard here. Rur.
Well, it seems she won't give up. Please try to take her alive. And I'm going to roll an intimidation check.
Please try not to murder her.
That's a 12.
12 is gonna fail.
But I'm a pretty lucky halfling.
Okay. This is where we're gonna blow this. Okay.
And you know, I have a session reroll.
Okay.
19.
19. She is shaking.
You know, just copious amounts of dice. Eventually, you'll get where you're going.
D20. All right. So you see her falter a bit more and kind of tremble. At not so much the threat, but the implication.
And I will. Has Tyrannus been hurt?
I don't know. That was a Tyrannus. Okay. Tyrannus has just had unconscious bodies raining down around.
Yeah. I'm going to go
No
ahead
one's aimed at attack at Tyrannus.
and battle medicine buddy.
Okay.
Going for the expert.
Ooh, big DC.
I'm pretty sure that a 23 makes it.
Yeah, the DC is 20.
Yeah.
So you will heal Buddy for 2d8 plus 10.
Ooh.
It's actually a flat increase, not dice.
17.
Hey, well, I was only using 12, so we're really on a good.
Yeah, so I mean, with your shield up here, it's fairly easy. Like, she can't really mount that attack because you got cover, too. So, I mean, like, you're 24 for her, realistically.
Well, cover doesn't affect. It's
All
the
right, your
same.
shield, right. I gotta remember that. Shield is the same bonus as cover.
Yeah.
It's a circumstance bonus.
And then
And Bird's tiny, just kind of slips up around and
I just
expertly heals you through full plate.
I just slide my hand under the full plate and like put a sponge-like material in the stab wound.
Got him.
Ugh.
Odd tingly, kind of numbing.
And then I'll go on ahead and cast shield, and just look down at her. Or she stood back up. I'll just look at her and say, "Please, just surrender. We're not trying to kill you. We're trying to take you alive."
Resume.
Resme will come over so she can at least kind of sort of see her
Okay. Just
up by the
another-
doorway.
Yeah, another move up to
Yeah.
the door, so she's just got cover from you.
Look, we have no desire to kill you. The rest of your men are either unconscious or dead. If you surrender, we'll take you back peaceably. You'll have a trial, a fair one, and you won't die this very minute. What do you think?
You won't die literally right now.
Diplomacy?
You can't diplomacy someone who's
That's
not
right.
friendly to you. So without some kind of official, like you can ask her,
I'll
but you
ask
can't
her.
like make a mechanical
fine.
roll. It's
I'll
just
ask
up
her.
to if she wants to. All right, is that all you want to do then?
It depends on what she says.
She doesn't say anything immediately. She's very mad and she's fighting 3 people. she's
a little
got 3
distracted.
people attacking her right now. Like,
Then yeah, that's it.
buddy,
Guidance on Buddy.
guidance on buddy.
What does that mean?
Means you can choose to put a +1 to any d20 roll this turn
Ah.
before you roll it.
I'm gonna try and trip this woman with a +1.
Okay.
Ooh,
Hey.
that was really good. So that's a what is that? That's my regular attack. No, that's a athletics.
It's an athletics.
Every time. Okay, so that is a 28.
28. Finally happens. He
Hey,
lashes out with the whip.
Okay.
Gets it-
Hey.
Oh, go for it,
Okay.
go for it.
Hey, okay. So this fancy
He wants this
twirl,
so
it
bad.
comes back, makes a sharp clicking noise, snapping noise behind me, and I swing it around, and it loops around both of her legs, and I bring it up, and she's so short that it actually just flips her upside down, and I hold her, and I like lower her back down, so she's not just dangling from her dangler. But you see now why I took this whip.
It happened one time.
You
That was-
almost took my eye out. How about some warning?
I was paying attention. Don't worry about it.
So, just to double check, because we're all pretty new to second edition, just to double check you, I'm pretty sure you know. You know the whip is also a non-lethal weapon,
Yeah.
right? Okay, like, you can attack her. Like, anyone can attack non-lethally, like, flat of the blade and stuff.
I mean, I
Minus
can.
4. You can't. And
Yeah.
Bo can't. But, like, okay, anyone being Doran,
I cannot
slash Buford with a
non-lethally.
mallet.
Yeah, no, I trip
Okay.
her. So it's just basically she's prone. The whip slides off, and I step forward, and I sit there with my shield, like, look, lady, it's only one way this is gonna end.
And she just lays there on the ground again. Next to Doran. She just looks up at you. You can just see such like unfathomable hate in her face towards you specifically. You and seemingly Tyrannus. Esphus.
I can see even though everybody's in front of the door, I can still see the doorway itself, right?
You can see the doorway, yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna hold an action. If Beetle tries to escape past everybody, I'm gonna shoot her. So
Okay, fair enough.
that's all I'm doing.
Dalrin, how's the ground?
Yep, great. So Dalrin's gonna get up and dust himself off, leave the geese arm where it fell, punch his hands like this, the monocle pops off.
The lightning. kicks
Lightning
off your
kind of
face.
crackles around him, and he's just going to channel this ball of lightning into his boot and just bury it into her side.
All right, she is prone. She's flat-footed. Give her the stomp.
Let's see here. That's gonna only be a 13. That's
She'll
not too
roll
great.
away from that.
Okay.
Thundering of the floorboards next to her, and a pile of rubble from where you crashed through.
It's
And,
my non-lethal punching and kicking attacks.
Non-lethal
Oh, are you
taser.
lightning-y?
Yeah.
Can you? I guess it doesn't say you can't.
It doesn't take away the non-lethal tag from unarmed stuff, so I basically turn into having stun guns for hands.
It changes the damage type. It doesn't
It
change
does
the
not
keywords.
change the traits. Do you non-lethally stun gun people?
Yep.
Okay,
I have
Not
stun
a-
guns for hands.
not a thing I ever considered. Tyrannus is going to delay because he clearly sees he's not a huge asshole. He clearly sees everyone's trying to take Beetle alive, so he'll wait. Give her a moment. And Beetle is going to again, she spins away from this stomp, transition that momentum, and just kip up to her feet. Both of her weapons still up, but she doesn't immediately strike. Looking back glancing at Dalren, just because he's a lightning golem now and that's spooky, but still focusing almost all of her hate toward Buford. And she doesn't immediately say anything. She's clearly just seething, but she does not attack you. Tyrannus, still just kind of waiting. Val? Is this a surrender? Do I have to keep hitting you?
The classic fighter question.
Ver?
I'm gonna hold.
Esme?
What did they do to you? The humans. That you hate them so much.
And she's still just standing there, not breaking eye contact with Buford here with his shield up, finger a waggling. He just hisses out. It's so easy for your kind to forget. The Goblin Blood Wars had two sides.
You don't have to die here.
Neither did my parents.
Do you
or my
think
brother.
Do you think your parents would want you to be buried out here along with them? Do you think they'd want their family legacy to be lost? Do you think this is...
What legacy do we even have? I'm the only one left.
You have your life. And a chance to repent. That's as much as anyone else gets in this world.
You don't have to be the only one. You're making that choice.
And she stands there. She breaks eye contact with Buford for a minute, just kind of glance out the door to just the sandbagged bodies all around the central platform where they just sort of fall in, and where she's heard the guy on the northern side fall over, and she's heard all these screams. She hears nothing outside. There's no more sounds of battle. It's fallen completely silent. Is looking at Buford still. Raises up both her weapons. And sheathes her rapier, keeping a dagger in her hand. What do you even want?
We came looking for an individual who left town recently, heading up this way.
We've been posted here for weeks. No one's come or gone.
Who posted you here?
I did.
Well, they might not have necessarily been coming to this structure. The caves nearby is more what they were looking for.
The caves are shallow, but wind their way back out of the mountains down into the Darklands. Goblin Bloodlands.
And also to the fortress where the Hell Knights lived.
I don't know anything about that.
That's why they came up here. They apparently know the way.
So, make me a perception check.
25.
Critically succeed. You're an inquisitor of Saren right here. She's not just like avoiding the truth. She is clearly flatly lying to you. She has all the tells of someone who is just refusing to be forthcoming with any information.
I get the feeling you're not particularly familiar with my faith. One who chooses to lie in my presence typically is seen as a person of bad character and should be dealt with appropriately.
She passes the dagger over to her other hand and just kind of grips her side where Tyrannus caught her, where there's just the biggest open gash. Grits her teeth together. And why would I care about human moralities? What does your faith mean to me?
Well, my faith dictates that if you put down your weapons, I can make that stop hurting. And if you tell me the truth, we'll take you back in good condition.
So, now, if you want to try to diplomate her, you can roll me your diplomacy check.
Okay.
I guess I'll assist.
You want to try to? It is DC 20 to aid now.
Do not aid me, because if you fail, then I fail.
They have to be willing to accept it, and it doesn't seem like she's interested in accepting it. Resume's got this.
For sure.
Hey.
That's going to be a 26.
Yeah, with a 26, you absolutely got this. Do I have her via token? I don't have her via pop-up token. That's okay.
Resme will walk over to her and look at her and go, I know what it's like to be misunderstood. To have people look at you like you're a monster or some creature from their nightmares. And it's not pleasant and it's not fair. But you did make the choices that you made, and now you must pay the price. But that doesn't mean the choices that you make going forward need to be the same.
And she does seem to be calming down somewhat, but not from any amount of a lack of hate. Just because she realizes that she can't fight her way out of this. She grits her teeth together. We fought because we had to. Yes! And she just gestures with the dagger to the building. This is a human outpost. You built this to attack us!
I know.
My family had nothing to do with this, but we were forced to fight, to defend ourselves.
In a war, everyone loses.
Both sides hear the same. She just kind of grits her teeth together still, like blood now running through her fingers as she's still just holding this wound.
Roar.
Would you allow my friend here to hold your weapons while I tend to your wounds, please?
She just looks at you. No. I can handle myself like I've had to for a decade. Just let me be. I won't stand in your way any further.
We'd best take them back to town. We can't continue anywhere else. We have to take them back. And she's hurt. She certainly can't continue on by herself.
Agreed.
But will she come quietly?
If someone's gonna make a move, she's gonna reach back down for her rapier.
Before we decide to do anything, though, You know about the path.
She moves her hand down from her side to the hilt of her rapier. It doesn't drop, has her hand on it. What path?
The one that you're clearly lying about. Either you're lying about the path or you're lying about the individual who came through.
I know about... These mountains are riddled with caverns. There's one right behind this, the one that the humans attacked with this very outpost. It exists. Open that back door and see for yourself. What of it?
The point being that that person is a necromancer. You know what those are, right?
I understand the term. Yes.
So what do you think the greater of the two evils is? To let a potential threat like that free to go? Or...
If you release me, as everyone's just kind of standing around her, she's in this corner, she can't really just move.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go. I can tell you where to find her. But let me free from this corner, and nobody lays a hand on me. Like a Buford and Dalren just kind of standing next to her. Tyrannus in the doorway with his halberd.
It's a tall order for a murderer and a robber.
Tyrannus speaks up. We have no reason to offer this to you. You have no advantage.
We could also probably just find her ourselves.
I'm giving you a chance to be honest with us.
Fine. Make your way into these caves. The entrance is immediately behind this building. They're myriad in spread. But as you enter, turn to your left. That leads to the chamber she's been waiting in. She's been resting there.
Does she seem like she's lying?
Yeah, I don't trust her as far as I
Make
can
me-
throw her.
make
I can
me
pitch her pretty well.
A perception check.
21.
22.
12.
She is still trying to mislead you. It seems like she's just trying to tell you
Whatever we want.
whatever you want to hear for her to leave.
Well then, the Calmont way it is. And I'm just gonna try to channel lightning into an open palm and just try to palm strike her on the side
Just
of the
make me
head.
an attack roll. Because you guys all had turns before she did.
Ah, crying out loud. Now it betrays me. That's a 13.
13 will miss. So as you
Maybe
lunge
make a second-
forward,
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
you can try again, Buford. You can try if you want to.
I try and grab her. I mean,
You can try to grapple. Yeah, go make an athletics check. Try to grab her. Like you guys had turns before she did.
okay, so
Guidance.
athletics check, that would be a 25.
25. You reach out with your free hand and just grab the collar of her armor, which I mean is pretty sturdy leather. So she's just like, that's a handle. She can't move from that. And Dalren.
Is
his
this second attack?
It is agile. Fist is agile.
Yeah, not with a 4 on the die though.
And Dalren just slashing out. She's still very quick and she's very determined and she's
I'm used to
very
having
Yeah,
something.
hey
in my
now,
hand.
Dalren.
she's very angry.
We don't need no violence here.
Tyrannus is willing to give the two of you an opportunity, but are you gonna do anything with the rest of your actions?
So I can grab her. Can I take my whip that's still in my hand and just kind of like put it around and try and like kind of make it so it's hard for her? I
So
can't really
you can
tie
try to,
her
that's
up.
critically succeeding in a grapple. I mean, you could. It's
Well-
really hard to do that to somebody who is resisting effectively.
Well, just I mean, not really to like tie her up, but just to like kind of like put it over around her so that she can't. It'll like make it more difficult for her to move.
Well, she's already immobilized. She's grabbed. She can't move at all. She's completely immobilized.
Can telekinetic projectile do
Spells
non-lethal?
cannot do non-lethal unless they are non-lethal.
Then I'll try. How about a sling?
Sling, ranged weapons.
I don't think throwing a rock can be non-lethal.
Yeah, I don't think ranged weapons can't.
I'm just
flip
out of
unless they have
curiosity. It was just
non-lethal.
out of
And
curiosity.
ranged weapons and spells are only non-lethal if they say they are. So Tyrannus is waiting. Well, to give you guys a chance. But
I'm-
she is
I'm going to cast a spell.
okay. Go ahead.
So I've got a 10-foot burst, which she is within.
Around you.
Mhm.
She's 15 feet from you.
Well, then I'll move.
You can step forward.
Yeah,
though.
I'll step forward. Now she's within my 10-foot burst. So, calm emotions.
Okay.
It's a channeled spell, so I have to at least maintain it. But I need a will save from her and only her. DC 19.
She's gonna succeed.
All right. On a success, she takes a -1 to everything.
That's one of our attacks, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's still shaken too. So she is going to get to her rapier and draw it out, and while Buford's holding on to her and like trying to control her with the whip, she's gonna lash out towards you a few times, just furiously. And your shield's not up, right? So you're 20.
Yeah, 20.
She's gonna hit you with the rapier. She's gonna hit you with the dagger. She's gonna land both.
Alright.
And the rapier does 11 damage
Okay.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then she swiftly stabs you with the dagger for 4 more.
Okay.
And then she tries to get her weapons up just in front of you just to try to force you off of her. And she's going to completely fail to escape. At that point, Tyrannus, seeing you get stabbed twice, is just going to try to sort of reach in and just bat at her with the flat side of his halberd. Stop power attack. Just wham, wham, stop.
Bad cat.
Just knock her out.
He's helping.
Down, girl.
He misses. And then he critically succeeds.
Woo!
With a natural 20, Tyrant. We got there. We got there.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, so he's just going to bring it down. You can all hear the crack as he just slams the metal at the end of the haft with all of its weight directly on the top of her skull. For 20 non-lethal. Which is just going to drop her unconscious immediately. She's just going to go completely limp as Buford's still holding on to her as she gets stabbed.
Now you can do the Calmont treatment.
Yes, very good, very good. Take those weapons off of her.
Maybe some ropes.
I'll go tie up the one that's still on the platform surrendered.
We should
And,
probably have that
she-
one come down of her own volition.
Yeah, she'll come down. She will climb down. She's completely surrendered. She'll submit to this. She doesn't
That's
want to
fine.
get murdered.
I'm just gonna tie up her
With this
hands.
last little explosion of violence here, the clearing falls silent again.
All right. Well, before we go any further, we have to take these criminals back to town. We can't just
Absolutely.
leave them here.
Oh, of course not.
See if you can get them up a bit, Roar, so that at least they can walk on their own. I have no desire to carry them like bags of potatoes.
We should really carry wheelbarrows everywhere.
We
can't
really
keep
should.
bringing
We just
people
need-
back with us.
We need some kind of wheel. If only we had a donkey with a wheelbarrow.
It's so much easier if you just killed everybody. You don't have to worry about it.
What we really need, though, is a consonant name. Because you had the bloody...
The bloody blades.
The bloody blades.
The singing
The singing
the
spears.
singing spears.
No.
If
As soon as we
alliterations,
choose,
then.
as soon as we
Yeah,
start
consonants
choosing
and
a
alliter-
dedicated name, this happens.
It does seem to be a constant pattern.
Oh god, you're right.
Shaking his head. Perhaps these things are better left to poets and the like.
So I'd like to actually make it so that she can't really fight us too much. So taking armor off would probably be a good thing, especially if she has hidden pockets. But I don't want to strip her.
Well,
naked and
normal
just-
humans have something under their armor.
Yes, but-
you don't wear armor on your bear skin.
That's
so
true,
You
but-
can take all of her armor off without stripping
And having
her
her be
naked.
decent.
She's
Okay,
still going to
good.
be fully clothed.
Thank you.
yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do that.
So you undo her leather armor. You take her rapier, her short bow, her dagger away from you. She also, once you are taking off the armor, you can see under her cape, she has a key hanging from the back of her belt.
That's
We'll
handy.
take that.
Take that as well. It's not difficult to find what it goes to. Since the Bloody Blades had taken control of this area, this little shack here is has an area sectioned off by a simple hanging curtain. Behind that is the bed where Beetle ostensibly slept, with a footlocker she seems to have brought herself set alongside it that the key fits into perfectly.
Perfect.
No real mystery there.
What's in it?
Inside is a 50-foot coil of rope with a pair of grappling hooks. 4 potions that all seem to be identical and that are all labeled in Goblin. Does anybody speak Goblin?
Yes, I do.
Then either of you then could easily identify them as lesser healing potions.
Oh.
Those are the 2d8 plus 5s. There's 4 of those.
Oh, great.
They seem to be kind of a small, really hard pottery ceramic, almost a stone container with a really, really dark near black brown. It's clearly not of normal human make.
For goblin up.
Yeah, and they are fairly small, but will still function perfectly fine for you guys. They're almost little potion shots.
Cool.
There is also a capped, what looks like a club. A simple length of carved rounded wood about yay long with a wrapped handle at the bottom. Just a metal cap squeezed over the top of it.
Beat stick.
A beat stick, indeed, it could be used as.
Mm.
In addition, there is a silk pouch in the corner with 400 silver pieces in it.
Wow.
Not
All
bad.
right.
Look under her pillow and under her bed.
Go ahead and roll me a perception. I mean, you got plenty.
I'm
you
just
can take
gonna
as long as you
search.
want with the room. Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, we'll check the whole
What,
thing.
well, what is everyone doing as she takes the key and starts looking through her bedroom here?
I would be casting Read Aura over the equipment that she had.
All right, and with a few castings of Read Aura, you would determine that both her armor and her rapier, as well as the capped stick, are all magical.
Yeah, like specifically her stuff. I'm not checking everyone else's.
I'll take that rope that's in there and start tying our prisoners up.
Fair enough. You have quite a few of them, unconscious or otherwise.
Good thing they had some extra rope here. I just have to take the rope ladders. And
Do
wrap
make it so that the two that we knocked out could walk themselves back. I'll bring them back to consciousness, and we'll have them bring themselves back.
Okay. I'm gonna tie their ankles with enough slack
So
so
they
they
can
walk.
shuffle
Yeah.
up
No, I don't want to be able to sprint, but
So how about you, Esphus? And
I'm gonna clap my hand on Elvis's shoulder and, oh man, you look a lot worse for wear. And channel a little bit Iomade. You feel kind of your wounds kind of helping out a bit, and with 12 plus 12, looks like an arrow went straight through you, man.
Did.
Well,
that was a fairly good shot.
It was a good shot.
it's a good thing there's nothing left in you. It just went. It seemed there must be a bloody arrow somewhere behind that tree over there.
Roar, if you have some time, I
Yes.
appear to have a large number of splinters in my feet and trousers. I'm not sure where that happened, but
I could absolutely take care of that.
Thank you, buddy.
You a good shot, man. I always smile a little bit inside when I see arrows coming over my shoulder. At least I know who they're from.
Master Dalrin, you sure do know how to make an entrance.
Yeah, what is going on? I just hear. Where did you even come from?
from the tree platform up there. It was the most expedient way to get in.
I look over at the platform 10 feet away.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
then.
Yeah, so unless you took more than 30 damage, I think you're good.
No, I did not take
25.
damage. Brilliant. Thank you.
So I mean, you guys sit down. You start treating
Yeah,
Dalren.
just a
and
couple
she's
quick
looking
casts
through
of a
the area.
cantrip and then
You
dealing
two
with you.
are talking, and Guardian's Way here seems to be largely cleared out for the time being. Tyrannus, as you tie everyone up, looks across the group. I feel... I don't know what I feel exactly.
Conflicted.
Strangely
feel conflicted.
The way you handle things, these will never cease to amaze me, I suppose.
Damn near effective, isn't it?
Yes, but would it not have simply been so much more effective to simply kill them all? They are murderers and bandits.
Well,
But you, Buford, man, you can see just the blood leaking through your full plate from where Beetle stabbed you twice when you got her down. You take such insane risks to prevent violence, even with such harm to yourself. Perhaps I still have much to learn.
Well,
There's
Hates
more
this.
there's more to justice.
I hate this, but perhaps this was better left to you that know her. I do not believe I could be impartial and render fair justice as the Hell Knights would expect of me. I will march these prisoners back to Breach for you if you wish to carry on.
Oh, that's kind of you.
Well, I mean, the odds are pretty bad there. I know they're fighting now, but that's a long walk for one man and a lot of orcs here.
If we tie
Lots
them all
of
together in a length.
unarmed archers bound and tied in chains.
I mean, if 5 people came at you with their underwear on, they could still probably get one of you could get you down.
If they could with their hands bound, I've no business joining the Order of the Nail.
I believe he should be fine to at least make it back to town.
Well, I don't know. These guys are pretty big.
Give him a little trust, buddy.
He can
Okay,
handle
then.
himself.
I guess if you guys are all going to hell on this.
Can you wake 2 or 3 more of them up so they can carry the rest of them?
Not. We have 4, and that's all we have that we're
This
bringing
one is
back.
awake.
Yeah, you have 1 who is surrendered, and you have 4 unconscious.
No.
We have 1 who's surrendered, we have 3
include Beetle
unconscious,
over there?
including
Yeah,
Beetle.
that's-
Okay, so can you bring one of them up then? They will be bound. They will be dragging their fallen. It will probably take us most of the afternoon to make it back to Breacher regardless. They will be in no state to uprise against me.
That's true. Also, the fallen, they need to be brought back in some condition. to
That
able
can
to
be
take
handled
them
at a later occasion. There's no
They're not
rush on
going
that.
anywhere.
I feel
I also feel like we need to bring the spears back to be buried properly. I feel bad that they were just left out here like so much refuse.
But
Well,
they
they're not-
as well have been here for at least a week.
And they're not going anywhere either.
Vols needs taken care of.
By the way,
Whatever she is after, whatever she is doing, I place no trust in her, but I recuse myself from this judgment and hope you will carry it in my stead.
No, your trust shan't go misplaced.
as long as someone takes the arrow out of my shoulder, I think we can do that.
Very well.
Oh my.
Then, I wish you the best of luck. Now, seriously, can you wake one of them up?
I
So
successfully wake one
over
of
the
them up.
next little while here, you would spend some time tending to your wounds, treating Dalren, Esvis, and Buford. Esvis still a little injured, but mostly okay now. Mostly Buford and Dalren, who clearly need time.
I would at some point lay on hands myself too, and then I could just
Yeah, and then
refocus.
refocusing. There's going to be definitely some
Yeah.
time of rearming and re-preparing.
You can
as
check the equipment.
you check through what they have. But there, before we head out to whatever is left in these goblin blood caves behind Guardian's Way, next week, when we come back together, we are certainly hot on the trail of Vaz. And while we may still be but level 3 adventurers, very close. So you may want to prepare yourselves for that to change
Hey.
fairly abruptly in the next session. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all of you guys and your support just by hanging out in the chat, and obviously everyone super appreciates having hero points handed out
Yes,
to
it's
them,
very nice.
which is just a spectacular thing you can do at absolutely no expense to yourself. What a fantastic adventure we've had this session. So I'm not gonna say, I guarantee we will see you next week. A lot of weird stuff is happening in the current state of, general global affairs. But if nothing else, we do have an online campaign on Mondays. That one's all Roll20. That one's over on my personal channel. If you do ! Recap, not only do we have all of the various videos and text write-ups for the recaps of each adventure, today's will be up tomorrow, most likely. You can also easily locate that particular adventure. So I will definitely bring you guys at least some Pathfinder content weekly. But for now, good night, everybody. Next week, well, we'll have to see what happens next
Stuff.
week.